Hello everyone, this is Ashish. Welcome back to Momentum Podcast. Today we are having with us Gaganpal Singh. You have been over here before also, Gagan. How was the experience? People loved you, by the way. So had to have you again.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks a lot for having me again. Really appreciate it. And the previous experience was really good. Meaning we got to talk
Just a
about
little bit. Yeah.
we
Please
got to
continue.
talk about a wide array of topics. It's been nice and yeah,
You helped a lot of people, man. A lot of people approached you, like when it comes to career also. So I've talked about this before. We have a lot of people who were from government sector domain, and you are one of the very few who came on Momentum podcast, showed them the way about the private sector also, and that is again a big chain of career, which a lot of people are not really exploring. Do you know the reason for that? Because you have prepared for civil services and all that, so you know very well.
see, one reason why people want to get into a government job is job security. Okay, and
Okay.
especially in North India, if you have a government job, your dahej or your dowry would be dependent on that. If you're
Okay.
IAS, you can expect something big and everything. So, but private sector, the issue that I feel that the older generation is seeing is that no job security, and they have been convinced of that because of what happened in 2020 when the prime minister had announced a lockdown due to the pandemic, and it happens, meaning that's how it is. Everything is up and down. Okay, and you just need to be prepared for that. But the opportunities to grow, to learn, to make money is a
Yeah.
lot within the private sector.
Yeah. First of all, like if you're getting a government job only for the sake of dowry, you should know that that is a crime. First of all.
First of all, dowry itself is a crime, man.
Yeah. But then again, there are a lot of, I know that there are a lot of places in this country itself where it is not even an option. So if the father does not give dowry, if the father of the girl does not give dowry, he is considered inferior and the whole family is considered inferior. So they want to do it just because of the society what is built around it. So that is probably.
See, I'll tell you my view on this. Okay, meaning whatever money that the father has earned, I really believe that should be put in the girl's education. The higher the education of the girl, the lesser would be the dowry. I would say it's inversely proportional. I always recommend women to educate themselves so much.
That people are not
Yeah.
like they cannot dare ask for
Yeah,
all
you
those
can't.
things. Yeah.
She should be so qualified than the man.
Yeah.
And this concept as well is wrong. Okay, as per your traditions, if there's something you have to
Gift and all completely
give
works.
that, dude.
Yeah.
Like whatever, chain ring and all that, you
Yeah.
can do. Okay, but a bungalow, a car, a
lot
farm.
of people use this term gift to actually ask for dowry.
They asked
also.
this question actually. So one of my friends, she actually got into income tax. She's an IRS officer, IRS officer. So they asked her, asked him. Okay, so you're pretty smart, you're good looking, and I'm sure you're the interview panel for IS. Okay,
okay.
they had asked him. They said you're pretty smart, you're good looking. I'm sure your parents are searching for a guy and everything, a girl for you and everything. He was like, yeah, sure. So they put a hypothetical question, okay, saying that, okay, they found a right girl for you, and the thing is, your father-in-law, future father-in-law, wants to gift you something. Would you accept that gift? So he asked, what would be that gift? He wants to gift you a bungalow. He wants to gift you a bungalow. And he answered very smartly. It's like, this bungalow is definitely in the format of a dowry. They might not call it dowry, but it is in the format.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that is the case, I'll have to humbly decline. And well and fine, he was selected for that.
Great, man. That is why you have to be so smart to be over there, right? Because you have to answer in a very diplomatic manner as well over there.
In that interview panel, yes.
Especially if, like, for example, someone asks you that is farmers protest correct or wrong. Now, how will you actually answer that? Because you cannot go against the government also. So you have to think like that.
If you want to be an IAS or IPS or any kind of
Yes.
service, you have to go with what the government says. If the government says we support Hitler, you should say we support Hitler. That's how it is. You can't they'll ask you, okay, this farmers protest is going on. What is your view on it? Your view is not your personal view. Your view should be the government's view.
Alignment with it. So that is another thing that when I was in ISRO, they had a full class on this topic, like can you speak against the government or not? So basically the short answer is no. And the long answer, because immediately everyone, so we are all young scientists, we have been over there for less than 2 years. So everyone is now surprised. So these are not the things that they put out in the application form, but these are like central government rules. So they immediately started asking, what about our freedom of speech? Obviously, this is a democratic country. What about that? So he says that you have the freedom of speech. You can speak whatever you want, but just don't get paid by the government and speak against the government.
Obviously. ISRO is funded by whom? Elon Musk? No. Come on, man. It's funded by the government of India.
Yeah.
And you can't... okay, I understand there might be policies and everything that not everybody would agree with it. But you have to understand that UPSC has done a fantastic job at recruiting the best bureaucrats of this country.
And training also.
The training is pretty extensive. They provide is off the charts. Meaning the intellect that these bureaucrats have is of another level.
Yeah.
Okay, you can disagree, but you have to understand that it is in the best interest of the larger society.
Yeah. All right. So I don't really know where we got into that from, but we are going to talk about basically various things involving. In the last one, we talked bunch of minutes about martial arts, about fitness and all. We talked about relationships also, which was very rare on my podcast actually. Very few times I've talked about that. So I made one video a long time ago about relationships for students and all, and that was the extent of whatever I talked about it. And the next time I talked with you, so I want to touch upon it again because Gagan has some views and points that he wants to share, and I'm certainly going to let him because he's bigger than me, obviously.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And other than that, we might talk about what is the current scenario when it comes to work from home and all. So did I actually mention it over here? So he's currently working in EY as a data analyst, and people who have watched the last podcast must be knowing about that. But let us begin when I personally want to start with fitness part. What do you think that it has the role in a person's life? Because I know that you run 5 kilometers every day. As long as I know Gagan, he has been super into fitness and all. He has to do something or the other, whether it be martial arts, whether it be running, whether it be just normal cardio, whatever it is, but you have to work out. And after that, you actually competed in boxing, inter-club boxing, and you won.
It was a state championship. So
all right.
I won the super heavyweight boxing championship in Karnataka.
What weight class is it, super heavyweight?
91 kilos and above.
All right. So that is the upper limit, right?
Yeah, that's the highest.
So who was the heaviest in that division?
There was one guy. So I had, first of all, in super heavyweight, you won't get many guys.
Especially in this country, right?
Yeah. So not many guys.
Yeah.
So I had only 2 fights. Okay, so the first fight was against a really fat guy who was 125 kilos. He was obese and everything.
Okay.
I knocked him out in the second round.
All right.
Not knockout, I hit him so bad that he said enough.
Oh, knockdown, basically.
Yeah, so
he said enough? Okay.
He said enough to the referee. I'm
all
done.
All right.
Second round. I had the stamina to go on and everything.
No, you have tremendous stamina, man. That much I know. Okay. Then who was the heaviest? Then 125 one only?
120.
How much did you weigh?
At the time of the fight, I was 100 kilos. 100 kilos.
Did you try to cut your weight for the fight?
No, man. That's it. Heavyweight fighters. We don't need to cut weight.
No. Because if you want to get into heavyweight, you are super heavyweight, right? So
since I was super heavyweight, the only criteria for me is that I should be 91 kilos and above.
Yeah.
I could be anything.
Yeah, no. A lot of people cut their weight to get into lower weight division. That is
why they do that?
Because they are basically bigger in the lower weight division.
We see all these professional fighters. They cut weight.
Yeah.
See, Khabib is cut weight. McGregor is cut weight.
Basically, say everyone.
Everyone. Why they do it? See, this is something that happens in the lower weight categories like bantamweight or flyweight or lightweight and welterweight. They do that because there's a difference between your walking weight and your fighting weight. Okay. So right now, when it is off season for fighters, their walking weight would be much higher than their actual fighting weight category. So they cut weight to come to their fighting weight so that they can be faster and much more quicker.
Yeah, but there's a definite advantage. So what will happen is that you'll cut somewhere, let us say 20 pounds, and next day you will again bulk up, right? So what actually happens is, let us take a look at the fight, very famous Nate Diaz versus Connor McGregor, the second fight. So if you actually look at them grapple, you are going to see the immediate difference in size. Or look at Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva. You are going to see immediate difference over there. So size does matter. And it is basically said that whoever, obviously martial art is based on techniques and all, but what if both the people are having same technique knowledge and there's one person who's bigger?
Yes.
So obviously there will be a difference.
See, there will be a difference. See, as per pro fighting, okay, on the day of the weigh-in, you should be that particular weight category.
Yeah.
On the day of the fight, it can vary.
Yeah.
But on the day of the weigh-in,
Correct.
that's how much you gotta weigh. And this majorly this fighting weight and walking weight thing is for lower weights, just lightweight, middleweight, and everything.
Yeah.
For heavy weights and super heavy weights,
Yeah.
it's different. Our walking weight and fighting weight is almost the same.
All right. So let me start with a simple question. Okay, you are a working professional. You have a stable career. Why did you choose to fight?
Okay, so that's a great question, dude. So I actually used to gym. I used to
Heavy lift.
heavy powerlifting, and I did it for quite some time. Like probably, I think I started in 9th standard, man. Like when I was 14, and I quit for like a couple of years after that, and started again when I joined my degree college. And I was really fat and obese, and I wanted to cut weight.
Okay.
And I got and I got into a good shape as well, and I kept doing that for probably 8-7 years, I guess. So I kept lifting weights. I reached a point where I was just bored, man. Like I'm going to the gym, lifting 200-300 kilos. It just didn't interest me that much. Okay? So I kind of felt I needed a change.
Okay.
So I actually wanted to learn jiu-jitsu as my first martial art.
Why?
It just interested me. And my cousin brother, who is my mom's younger sister's son, he's a doctor. And he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And I really saw him and got influenced. I'm like, okay, let's go. And unfortunately, due to the lockdown, all the trainers had gone away to their countries, and I had to take up boxing only.
Striking,
Yeah, so I took up boxing, and I think I did pretty well in that.
Yeah.
And it's been such a wonderful journey ever since I started martial arts. I'm much more calmer, I'm much more controlled. I have so much more control over my emotions. And I believe that I don't think that anybody could say or do anything that could really get my emotions high and make me come into a very reactionary state. I'm pretty sure, man. Like having that power to actually do something to somebody, but then you choose not to do it. I think that's actual maturity.
Okay. Have you ever faced anger issues before?
Yeah. I was pretty in school, man. Like I was a wild kid, man. Like I would
Out of control.
Yeah, like teachers are fed up with me.
Why you beat people up at that?
I don't know if my school friends are seeing this, dude. I used to fight. I used to get into fights. I would not sit in one place. I was so hyperactive. I would get angry at small things.
Okay. There are two ways of, like, there are kind of people who are basically called bullies also.
I don't know, man. But I used to eat everybody's food.
You were a bully, man. I don't want to be in your school. Okay. I like food, by the way.
Yeah, same here, dude.
Oh, then I have a problem with you. Okay, let's get back to this part. Okay, so this is like an outlet for you, martial arts and all.
It is a way for me to control myself, dude. Not just an outlet, man. Like, outlet can be anything. You go sit in a bar and drink, that's an outlet. You smoke weed, you smoke cigarette, that's an outlet.
Positive outlet.
Yeah. You need, see, you're talking about outlets. Okay? Whereas martial arts, it's a way for me to get into my fitness. It's a way for me to train not just my body, but even my mind. When you're in a ring against another person who's equally better in skill, power and everything, you just can't throw punches and everything. You have to think.
Okay.
You'll have to fake, you'll have to slip, you'll have to duck and then attack.
Okay. So yes, that is what is said, is that a huge reason for anger might be insecurity for most people. A lot of people lash out because they are afraid, right? And did martial art finally solve your problem of anger issues, or was it something else?
My anger issues went away the day I started gymming.
Okay, so outlet. Physical workout does help you.
Then I realized, okay, if I was sad or if I was angry, I would go and take out the anger on the weights.
Yeah.
and it always helped
Also
me.
humbles you, right? Because you always find the real you, and it is not as big as you think it is. And then you find out your limitation. Like even when it comes to weightlifting, you find out, okay, others are lifting this much, I'm lifting this much, so I need to grow, and that humbles you. And let us say in martial arts also, you think that you are very tough, you meet someone who is really tough, and then you find out, okay, I need to learn.
I was watching Mike Tyson's podcast. He said that if you do martial arts, boxing or MMA, if you're not humble, you will be humbled.
Yeah.
So if you think that I'm huge and I'm big, I'm tall, nobody can touch me and everything, you'll find a guy who's smaller than you who will show you your place.
Yeah.
So it's always great to be humble, man. No matter how strong, no matter how well you fight, because it's a learning experience. If you're not humble, people will not tell you your mistakes. People will not teach you. Like, hey man, this guy doesn't listen, so no point spending time there.
Yeah, and you honestly cannot learn if you're not humble. Doesn't matter if someone is teaching you or not. You'll always find out the flaws of the person who is teaching you, and you think that you are always better.
Yeah.
And that is why humility is very, very important.
It's very, very important, especially if you're rising up in your life, no? When a person is rising up in his career or in anything he does, no? The higher you go, the more humility you need to have.
Yes.
If you get into this concept of
head become bigger
it's
and
called grandiosity. Okay. Grandiosity. The exact word is grandiosity, where you think that I am right, I am great. What I say is the word of God, and everything I do is the right thing. That is when things go bad.
That is when we get a Hitler.
So there's a wonderful documentary on Netflix you need to watch. It's about how to be a tyrant.
Watched it.
It's a wonderful documentary.
Freaking amazing, man.
Amazing.
It is the most chill documentary that I've seen about tyrants, because over there
it's a playbook how to become a dictator.
That person is actually going to talk to you in a way that you are going to become a dictator. This is the problem that you're going to face. These are the obstacles that you're going to face. This is how you're going to deal with.
These are the skills you need. This is what you need to say. This is how you need to behave.
He picks 5 examples.
Yes.
Hitler was the first one.
Saddam Hussein, then Stalin, then
Uganda.
Some Abdi, his name is doing.
Yeah.
And last one was that
Idi
Gaddafi.
Amin.
Idi Amin.
Yeah, so it was a great documentary. Like, if you want to watch about those gruesome stuff without any gruesome stuff, then that is the best.
If you really like that documentary, you should read this book, The 48 Laws of Power. By Robert Greene.
Okay.
It's such a wonderful book.
What is it about? Like, how do these people attain power?
No, it gives you 48 laws on how to reach a position of power and stay there.
Okay.
And it's there was a book that was written a long time ago in the 1600s or 1700s. It's called The Prince. It was written by Machiavelli. Okay, and he said that in politics or if you're in a position of power, you will have to lie. You're going to meet a lot of people who are not nice. You're going to meet a lot of bad people, and you have to see them every day. You can't just avoid them. You have to work with them. You have to expect people to backstab you. Yeah. If somebody backstabs you, it's not their fault.
Yeah, and sometimes the backstabbing is very, very literal. So
actually,
they literally stab you. That's it.
See, he says that people will backstab you. People will talk behind your back. People will have jealousy towards you. You can't help that. The only thing you can do is manage yourself, manage your reactions.
Yeah, and the way that we are talking about is not that you should become a dictator like this, but attaining power or reaching any heights generally will be having similar principles. Like, let us take a good example. Let us take an example of, let us say, Nelson Mandela. He also reached a good position, and he used his power for good of the mankind, and also he did it in a fair manner. And the last episode of that, How to Become a Tyrant, was Kim Jong-un. And there it is actually shown that rest of the 4 examples that we talked about, they were not able to maintain their power. At some point they were exiled or they were killed, something like that. But this person maintained it for 3 generations. And the key to all of it, you know what it is? Nuclear power. Once you have it, then you're done.
And another thing is that North Korea, the people of North Korea are cut out from the world.
Yeah, man, this girl who came on Joe Rogan's podcast, she came on multiple other podcasts as well. Lex Fridman podcast. I was just listening to half of it. It is so crazy of what they are told. They are told that people in America are evil. All the Westerners are evil. They are people with big nose. And everyone, even the South Koreans, wants to become immigrant of North Korea. They want to get in, and we are the luckiest people over here. and there are a lot of words which are not in their dictionary. They're told, they're brainwashed like that.
They've been taught. So the entire education is around their king.
Yeah.
So the king. So there's a story there that the king, the day the king was born, 2 angels came from the sky.
Yeah.
It was a rainbow day and everything. They make stories like this to.
The second king was actually a propaganda minister.
Yeah.
Just like Hitler had his own propaganda minister, Goebbels. That is what he did. He made movies. He made movies. And this is the silliest thing that I've ever heard. So you have to have the picture of your leader at your home. And at 12 o'clock at night, anytime a person who is an inspector can come, it's not that you do not have the picture. If there's a dust particle on the picture, you will be sent to the camps.
Yeah.
And also, listen something weirder. You can listen to the whole podcast. She talks about this. So if the house is on fire, forget about your kids, forget about your wife. Take that picture with you first and go run outside. That crazy. Yeah. It's nuts, man. Man, I can only... This is how big a human ego can become. This is how huge it can actually become.
They're called narcissists.
Yeah.
They're just worried about themselves and everything.
Yeah, and when I started to listen to that girl, I thought, and I have studied Hitler through all of these things, not like picking up books. I'm not that good at reading, but whatever I found on internet, I just went through completely. I know about the concentration camps and all. And this guy Hitler actually seems so innocent in front of this Kim dynasty, because here the entire country is a concentration camp, man. They're having landmines that nobody can escape. They're having people who will shoot at sight. That's it. The country is deprived of electricity, but they are having barbed electric wires all throughout the borders so that nobody can cross. It is impossible to leave that country. And in that country, they're getting free labor. They're told about that this is the God and Westerners are evil and all that, like that. And the main reason, okay, let's not get into that. That is another.
It's very interesting, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't just want to repeat the podcast because you can just go through it. It's I do not remember the name of the girl because it is a Korean name. But
yeah. I told you, she looks like an anime character. I've seen, I saw it on Spotify, new podcast from Joe Rogan, and the guest, she looked like an anime character to me.
That is pretty racist.
Hey, it's not racist. It was so, the way the eyes were, it was so much like an anime. Like, okay, this is an actual person. Like, crazy.
All right. Okay. So let us get back to the fitness. I have no idea. Yeah, I have some idea where we walked into it. But I want to get into, let us say, if you're talking about ego. What's up with Connor McGregor, man? I'm pretty sure that you're following him.
Yeah, dude. I do.
What's up with him? What do you think about his last fight?
He broke his leg, dude. That's
Before
so
that.
sad. See, there are a couple of things that a person should never talk about. Okay.
Yeah.
And if a person talks about that, it's crossing the line.
Yeah.
Okay? You cannot talk about the person's mother, a person's
Wife.
family, wife, religion, faith, father. You can't do all that. Like, come on, man. That's really bad. I understand he's trying to sell the fight.
That's it.
He's trying to get eyeballs and everything on the fight, but after that, you just need to stop, man. You can't do beyond that. You can't say your wife is in my DMs and she's putting all that. That is wrong, I felt. But it doesn't matter whether if he wins or loses. He's the world's highest paid athlete. He's
anymore.
Forbes #1, dude.
Not for long, Gagan.
He is.
He
owed to Cristiano Ronaldo. He owed to LeBron James.
Yeah,
man.
it's all right. But look at the image of Cristiano Ronaldo and look at the image of Connor McGregor.
I completely understand. Yeah. I agree. It's bad. Okay. Because there are kids watching.
The worst thing is that, so I've been following MMA as long as I can remember. I basically started it in my college days. Back then, Connor was not over here. So that was the era of Anderson Silva. Yeah. Okay. So Connor came somewhere around 2013. And I've seen him rise to the position which no other mixed martial artist ever did. Lot would say no other sportsman ever did. And the image was very, very positive. He was like a motivation for a lot of people.
Came from nothing.
Yeah.
Welfare.
Yeah. Well, a lot will agree that there are a lot of others who came from nothing as well. But Connor, the way that his persona was, he believed in whatever he wanted to do, and others wanted to believe that as well. But I've seen the shift in the whole view of how people are seeing him now. It's not very positive, man. So what happened actually? How did it actually change so much?
Khabib changed it, dude. That fight. Oh my god, dude, it's been 2 years since that fight happened. Till date, I watch it.
Yeah.
Till date. So it was, I think that fight took his soul. How much he spoke, man. He just broke a bus. He injured a lot of people. He spoke about his father. He called him a terrorist. He spoke about Khabib's religion. I think you can't talk about all that. And when he won that fight, when Khabib won that fight, he just took his soul with it. He just took his soul along with that. And ever since that fight, he's never been the same. You know, after he fought Khabib, he fought that cowboy. Okay? He's not that. He's a good fighter.
Just move the mic towards
He's a good fighter, but not at that level. Okay, great. After that, he fought Dustin Poirier, and Poirier just showed him his place, man. Like, dude, I'm much more better than you. And it was like when Khabib took his soul, it was done for him. And somewhere in my heart,
why do you think that the fight with Nate Diaz did not do that?
The third fight.
First fight,
though, he killed, like he just won, right?
Yeah, but that also is supposed to break a
you have to understand who was he fighting. Mr. McGregor is a trash talker. Nate Diaz is the king of trash talking. Okay, but Khabib is not that dude. He's a purist. His entire life, he's only known one thing: fight, become better, keep training, reach this stage. That's what his fathers taught him. His fathers never taught him, talk this, if this person says that, do this. No.
Neither did McGregor's father.
No, but he learned the game. But he learned it.
Yeah.
He learned it. True. Okay, I have to talk.
At the age of 16.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
His English was good. Khabib's English wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But he never spoke. He did speak, but with his hands and legs.
Yeah.
And his jokes, they speak a lot.
Yeah.
So when he fought Nate Diaz, it was completely different. It was like he's fighting one of his own kind. When he fought Khabib, it was a completely different fight. Like levels above him.
Yeah, all right. Okay, it broke him to some way. Okay, he lost in a very decisive manner. I completely understand that. It was a long fight as well. He got beat in his face.
4 rounds.
Yeah. And after that, the incident that happened, we are all aware of that.
The best thing, dude.
Yeah. Then he came back. He beats Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah.
And then it changes. Like Connor started talking in a humble manner now.
See, that's like, I don't know, man. You know, he just wants to show that. Okay, so in the third fight, so you know, there's that betting that happens on fights. There are like so many websites.
Yeah.
So there's this guy called Brandon Shaw. He was also a heavyweight fighter.
Yeah, Fighter and the Kid podcast, right?
Yeah, correct. So he said that if it is respectful McGregor, nice McGregor, it's not going to happen. If it is pissed off McGregor,
I doubt it. He did just because of that.
Yeah, he just see, the thing about McGregor is that first time he tried being respectful because he knew what happened with his fight with Khabib.
Yeah.
That changed, that humbles a person.
Yeah.
Then the third fight with him, he wanted to market it. He wanted to talk bad things. It backfired. He broke his leg and walked away.
That was just a mishap. Because what I saw before all of that happened, at least for the first half of the first round, his striking was pretty crisp. I think Connor's striking, don't you think? His boxing and kicking, it was pretty crisp, man.
Dustin Poirier is the best boxer in UFC, man.
Yeah, it is okay. But Conor McGregor is also one of the best strikers that we have seen in UFC.
So are you saying that his leg broke because of that striking?
See, different people are saying different things. So Dustin Poirier will be saying that his leg broke because he checked it. And Connor's coach is also saying that it was from the training camp itself. So most likely it happened because of the check only. So nobody actually knows. But whatever it is, man, what I'm saying is that it is not like Conor McGregor was just chilling out and having fun in his yacht and not training. The way that he came up, it looked like he is in shape. And he has been training.
He's still training with a broken leg.
Okay, that is not much suggested by a lot of doctors.
He does like normal weights and everything. He posts it on
all right,
Instagram.
that is the job of a fighter.
Yeah.
But it is okay. And then the leg broke, and that has happened multiple times. All right. So
Anderson Silva.
That was the first one. Then later on, the craziest thing is that
this
Chris Weidman.
Chris Weidman.
Yeah. That is like the
guy who broke Anderson Silva's leg. That guy is like broke.
Karma at his peak, right? Okay, but whatever. It has happened, and a lot of fights have stopped because of that. Also, not only over here in kickboxing, also you can see. Okay, but the other problem is that is his ego getting bigger and bigger for no reasons actually. Because he has not been fighting that much, man. So how can you actually expect yourself to be the best fighter of this world when you are not fighting that much? Not even like twice. At least champions were supposed to fight twice every year, right? And you are not getting that much experience. And this just Dustin Poirier, all he does is that's it. That he fights all the time. And he has like businesses going on. He has his wine company going on. I'm pretty sure that he has been approached multiple times for movies. He has been approached multiple times to fight with Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather, a lot of...
this guy?
Connor McGregor.
He fought Floyd, no?
Yeah, he has fought Floyd. And then there were talks of fighting with another boxers as well.
Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao.
So these are other things that are going on. So fighting is very small part. And at the same time, if you're not humble, the worst part is that after the fight, when he is defeated with his broken leg, he's still talking trash, man. First of all, never interview a guy at that position. But thanks to Joe Rogan, we got... But we can't really blame him. But I can't blame him if he comes out later and gives a statement that I'm sorry about it. But he's not.
I don't think so. You know what? You know what? When Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear off, they're reconciled, man. Like, they're cool even today.
Yeah.
But I really don't think that Khabib and Connor will ever be cool, dude.
Yeah, that is not possible. Like,
if they are in the same room, it's going to be the second fight, man.
Yeah.
They're going to fight it first. Not just him. Even if it's Khabib's team or Connor's team, they could never...
I watched Khabib's interview also later on when he talked about how the fight with Dustin and Connor actually went. And he's like, okay, this was very, very expected. So, for example, a person who has been fighting throughout his life, it would be pretty obvious, right? Now, what is going to happen? We are audience. We don't know that. We have not experienced that. These people know it the best. And he was not that bitchy about it. Like, I want to fight and all. No, he's cool. He's satisfied. He clearly said that I don't want to be the best of all time. I'm one of the best of all time. That's it.
And I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
And he did a very smart move.
Yeah.
And a very difficult move.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a position of power, when you have everything in the world, you know, when's the best time to quit? When you're at the top.
Yeah.
When you're at the top, let it go. And it's done throughout history, man. Like George Washington, when he became the president, he resigned when he was at the peak. When the media was talking greatly about him. People loved him. He resigned.
Yeah.
He did that, and today people, they still study him and they respect him. They revere him so much.
Yeah.
And I think in this entire game of fighting, there are only a couple of fighters who did that, who quit at the top. Because it's so addictive. You know, I feel that I should keep going. I should keep fighting.
That is addictive, no?
Yeah.
That is why you see a lot of fighters coming back.
Yeah. And that is wrong. So GSP did it. When he was the top, he quit. And Khabib did the same thing.
Yeah.
He was at the top. There was nothing more for him at the top of the mountain.
So that is again another thing, that if we compare Khabib and Connor, then what we see is that Khabib is not drawn by something, right?
He's not motivated by money, man.
Yeah, he is satisfied by his own accomplishments in the sport. Connor, on the other hand, hugely is motivated from the start. He never tried to shadow it or something, but he was always driven because of that. And we have seen rise and fall of so many people.
So you know that, right? So he was offered $100 million to fight Floyd Mayweather, Khabib.
Yeah,
it's true. Like it's actually true, and he confirmed it on the podcast.
I don't doubt it. Obviously, why won't you look at it? So the problem with Connor is that he builds all the hype and then he loses and someone else takes it away, right? For example, Nate Diaz.
He's a showman. Dude.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier, Khabib. So whatever you're building, and then if you're losing, then someone else is taking all the hype. And at the big stage, if you fail, then the failure is equally damaging to your whole persona.
It's not, everything is damaging. Your business will get damaged, your reputation.
His problem with Proper 12 whiskey, so how it turns out, it is not completely his.
Yeah.
And there's a deal like he has to win or something, or he has to keep on competing, something like that, because the whole brand is
It's
based
dependent
on
on him.
Conor McGregor. So if he falls, the brand falls.
So I think from what I read and understood is that it's been acquired. It's been sold. His whiskey brand has been sold.
Okay.
He made money.
This is something that I think Chael Sonnen was talking about it. Who was talking about it? I'm not sure, but yeah, that is where I heard it in some podcast.
Chael, so yeah.
He has his own podcast.
Yeah, he's a good talker, dude.
He's one of the first when it comes to mixed martial arts.
Oh my god, dude.
But then Conor McGregor beats him in that. He brings a different level of talking.
He brings eyes to the game and people love it.
Yeah.
But when he lost, man, Khabib just won everybody's heart with the way he fights, not by the way he talks.
Yeah. But what I want to get into is that, okay, these are individual people and we are nobody to judge these people. But what we can do is that we can learn from how people rise astronomically and then they fall in a very cruel manner.
One great thing about fighting is that it's a thinking man's game.
Yeah.
Okay, not everybody can be a fighter. If you think that you're 6'5", you're 110 kilos, 120 kilos, and you can be a fighter, it's not going to work out for you, man. And moreover, the probability of a person to become a professional fighter and to make that his career and to reach that height is extremely small. You need, everything has to be right, man. Like, you need to have the right coaching, you need to have the right people around you, the right mentors, the right fighting style, the right opportunities, man. So when
just like any other sports, by the way.
Yeah, man. It's all there. Meaning, I completely understand. But when you think about team sports, it's different. But fighting is all dependent on you.
Yeah, I'm talking about most of the individual
sports. Okay. That's fine, man. But even when I think to myself, like, dude, I should start taking fighting as my actual career and everything. But then I'm like,
did you really think about it?
Yeah, dude, it really happened. It comes because as a human being, no, we all reach that. Oh, I'm good. But then you need to be pessimistic and bring yourself down.
So let us just take an example, because I've never had that thought in my head. Okay. So when you think about fighting is my career, what are you actually looking at? Your legacy, the fame, the name, the money? What are you
the legacy and the fame, man. Like,
both.
I always think that I'll see my name in the newspaper saying that Gaganpal Singh, India's first UFC MMA fighter, light heavyweight category.
All right.
I'm like, wow, fighting John Jones. I'm like, oh my god, it's like too much, dude.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, it's not possible. It's not possible, bro.
Okay.
I see, because I have a better chance of living a better and much more fulfilled and stabilized life, and with a lot of money as well, if I study, meaning grow in my career and work well, no, my chances of earning money, reaching a good position is much more higher there than going into a fighting career. One injury can screw up everything, man.
Yeah, and a lot of times before you even get in.
Yeah.
So you talked about fame. So what do you think? Fame is good? Fame is important?
I don't know, man. I've never had it, so I can't say.
So let us say that I give you all the fame of this world, okay?
Okay.
And you have 5 million followers on Instagram, which is actually quite low, but kind of we can say that it is famous. What is that worth? Why is that important?
Man, I can spread my knowledge. I can spread my views. I can talk about the things I like to talk about.
Okay.
And I'm sure definitely people would get influenced by it.
Okay. The problem is that a lot of times whatever the famous people says becomes correct. All right. But famous people are not the most knowledgeable people. Right. So I think that knowledge would be much more important than fame.
Absolutely, man.
Fame would be something that only supports it. Right?
Fame... See, dude, I'm not the right person to talk about fame because, as I said, I never had it. Okay? If it's there, well and fine. If it's not there, I'll still keep working.
Yeah, see, one of the reason why you'll see that on Momentum podcast, no, there are very few famous people. So we have had like 35, 36 episodes so far. Very few people who are having even more than 1,000 followers on Instagram. The reason behind that is that I want people who are knowledgeable. Fame, okay. If people are worth it and they understand that these people are worth it, then they are going to listen to it. And whatever we are going to get, it is going to be helpful for them. For example, I got Vinod sir over here. Vinod Datusulya has been working in GE for 6 years. He's a fantastic aerospace engineer. He has done masters from IIC Bangalore as well. But he's not famous. So and let us say I bring Komal Pandey over here. What will Komal Pandey teach these people who are having, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of followers? So that is the problem. A lot of people are running after fame these days.
See, you have to understand one thing. Okay, fine, you bring a famous person here, you'll have eyes on your podcast, but would you actually have value?
That's it. Like you can
if
become
somebody listens, if somebody goes on YouTube and comes to your podcast and there is this famous person and the things they say, would it enrich your viewers' lives? Is important.
Yeah, but it will enrich your pockets.
It's fine. It'll enrich your pocket well and fine. But there's so many young people watching this and they look up to you, and I'm sure some of them look up to me as well. If we are giving out some information, it should be of such nature that it is in their brains and would help them lead a better life, man.
Yeah.
Not help them make bad decisions.
So it is long time ago. I was in my first semester and there was one single teacher, English teacher. So in first semester, all the subjects are taught in engineering. It's a common kind of curriculum. So that lady basically said something very important. She said that there are different levels of power. So the lowest level of power will be physical power. And that is the oldest power that we know amongst human beings. The second level of power was knowledge. So later on, when people started learning more, they understood that knowledge is a bigger power. You can see a lot of small people, scrawny people having a lot of knowledge, huge amount of respect. They have a lot of control. And the highest level of power was knowledge of knowledge. How you utilize that knowledge. So if you directly get into a place where you don't have knowledge, or you don't have knowledge of how you utilize that knowledge, and it is going to all be very catastrophic. And it's ultimately going to fall down. So these days, the problem is that being famous is not difficult at all, Gagan. Have you seen these reels and all going on Instagram? So it is not difficult at all. You can roast a very famous person 10 times, 10 different famous people, and you will become famous pretty soon because there will be a lot of eyes on you as well. Roast a lot of celebrities, Bollywood actors, and people always search for these people, and you are pretty soon going to gain a following over there as well. It's not difficult at all. But then again, where is the knowledge? And now what are you going to do with that platform? Right?
Is it the right thing to do? Like, is it a good investment of your time to roast another person?
Yeah.
If I make reels, I would probably make like 10-second reels
and dance. I would like to see you dance.
I'm a horrible dancer. Just look at me. I'm
maybe
6'2".
Maybe that's why you are going to get more views, Gagan.
No. If I make a reel, I want to probably talk about things like no gym, everything's locked down. Do these workouts. You can definitely get yourself into better shape. Are you bored? Read these books. Do you want to learn this technology? Go to this website. Do you want to know how to study, how to read faster? I would give out tips like that, man, because it's about providing value to the larger audience, I believe. Money has come, like the position that I am in, what I'm getting, by God's grace, it's all good. But what I want to do is, I want to give. And it's very important to understand that before you can take anything, give.
Yeah.
Give, and then, they say that dene wala jab bhi deta chappad phad ke.
Like
that's what happens.
You have to tear the roofs like that. Okay. Now, completely understandable. Now, the problem with that is that a lot of people want that pill to improve their life, that pill that gives... Yeah. So they don't want the difficult route. Yeah. If you tell them go and read these things in that website,
no. When they say that, no, I understand, because if you have never read, like if you're not accustomed to reading, if you read a book, this happened to me when I was preparing for my IAS. For the first 6 months, I didn't understand a single word or what is going on in my life. All I knew that I had tension and I was very anxious all the time. Exam aa raha hai, I'm not ready and everything. See, when you read a book, you will feel strained. Oh, my eyes are hurting, head is paining, neck is paining.
Okay.
It'll happen. The only thing you need to do is keep doing it.
Yeah. But that is also difficult. Watching a lot of girls dancing on TikTok or reels is easier.
It's always easier, dude. But who's going to make it better in life?
Correct, Gagan. But that is what I'm saying, is that there are more eyes on the on things that does not add a lot of value. And these social media platforms are going to promote that. Did you get a chance to check out my story that I placed day before yesterday? If not, then not an issue. I'll explain it. So what I did is that I just showed them my feed. So I just go on Instagram to post stuff and maybe scroll a couple of times. I just follow a few of my friends. Okay. So they're like martial art. I follow a lot of martial art pages, right?
Okay.
So I just showed them the real time recording. So they're like couple of videos from 1FC, some videos from UFC, some of the fighters who are showing some of the techniques and all that. So I keep on going through it. And then all of a sudden I get 3 recommended reels. All 3 are girls dancing. That's it. And I've never actually searched any girl on Instagram. I never go to explore feed. But that is what they're promoting me. Just imagine what they are going to be promoting to people who actually checked by mistake a girl on Reel, right? They are going to bombard them with all of those stuff, right? So that is what social media platforms are doing, man. So there's no way that you are going to let your word reach out that, okay, if you want to improve your concentration, you have to do this.
See, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
See, let's be honest, man. Working 18 hours a day is not for everyone.
Not for everyone.
Getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and working out till 10 a.m. 4 hours a day is not for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, then after that you have office work. This is my day. This is how my day goes. I get up at like 5:30. 6 a.m. I have to be in class. If not, I have to do 50 burpees. And I hate burpees. Seriously, I hate burpees. I hate burpees. So I'm there on time. Okay. And then till 10 a.m. we have to fight. Who knows, I might get injured. Something might happen. But I have to be there. Then I have work. I have calls. I have to finish my projects. And after that, if I don't have extra work, I have to go for running. After that comes study. I have to do my MBA. I need to pick up new technologies. This life is not for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that for me to reach my goals and my dreams, I can't just keep watching reels. I can't keep living like that.
Yeah, so that is the thing, man. The majority of the population do not understand that how hard you really need to work to get wherever you want to get. And that is very clear. There's no actual secret over there. There are a lot of people who are going to be making videos, clickbaits on YouTube, like this is how you multiply your money 25 times and all that, quickest way to earn money. There's no quick way, man. What are you talking about? The only quick way is to tell other people's quick ways to earn money. That is what a lot of people are doing, right?
See, if it's too good to be true, it's actually...
It ain't.
Yeah, it's
it's not.
It's not gonna it's not gonna work out for you, man.
Yeah.
If it's like I'm going to give you 100% on what you invest, no, it's not going to work out, man. You need to make sense. You need to research and then probably put your money there.
Yeah. So the point that I was trying to get at is that we often confuse the numbers with the fame. All right. So we look at a person's following and we say 5 million followers. Okay, that person is pretty famous. But then again, the majority of the population is not looking for quality. And even if you are having a small following, let us take an example. What is your following on Instagram?
I don't know, man. 700, I guess.
That's it. All right. So if that population, if out of 700, 600 people are actually following you and learning something new, because those are the people who are actually going to take the crude way, the rough way, and they are going to improve their life, then that is actually much better than having a 5 million following and 0 people are learning anything.
So you're saying the quality of followers matter?
Yes. And the numbers should not be confused with fame. And also there's a difference between fame and popularity. So these are different terms, but often getting confused.
Man, social media has changed so much today. I remember as a kid, the only thing we had was a landline phone, man. That was so much
social
better,
media.
Yeah.
That is social media. You have like 2 phones at your home. You, your brother, and another cousin is talking. That's it. Yeah. And then came the time of Orkut. Do you remember that?
Oh, that's a wonderful time, man. Like seriously, you could write testimonials about people.
You can read
chats,
any chat of any person.
Anybody, yeah,
right?
dude.
So then came Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and he just ruled it out. And then Facebook is doing crazy stuff now. Instagram is also gone. It is Facebook part 2.
Yeah, purchased it and everything.
Now, and the only platform I honestly feel right now is going to provide any good to you is probably YouTube. Because YouTube, at least it has an algorithm that it will show you what you watch. So if I'm going to search few videos about guns, all right, then it is going to show me shorts of guns, right? But then again, like I gave you an example of Instagram, it is just going to show whatever is popular at that time, whatever is famous.
See, you have to understand that we live in a much, much better time compared to our parents.
No doubt in that.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
See, if our parents or our grandparents wanted to learn something, they had to go to the library.
Yeah.
If they wanted to understand something, they had to find a teacher
Yeah.
and they had to wait for the teacher.
Yeah.
In our day and age, it's not like that. You want to pick up a skill, go on YouTube, go on Udemy, go on some learning platform where you can do it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're spending your time looking at really knowledgeable people, I really think Patrick David is one person, Sadhguru is another person, and there are many other people who are knowledgeable, and they can give you good direction in your life, man, if you listen to them. Nothing like it.
Have you heard of this guy, Andrew Huberman?
No, man.
So he runs a podcast by the name of Huberman Lab Podcast.
Okay.
And he is actually Stanford or Harvard, I don't remember, most likely Stanford. He's a professor over there. And he has just started a podcast on neuroscience. He talks about how sleep is important. He talks about what is the proper way of diet. He talks about the circadian cycle. You should definitely check it out, man, if you're very conscious about your health.
Yeah.
So this level of information you can access for free from any part of the country.
There is gold on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, especially for people who want to get into technology, like data science,
Yes.
or whatever.
About data science. You learned a lot about data science.
There's gold there, man. And I see like Harvard professors and big university professors, they're explaining really difficult concepts in deep learning, man. Like what is gradient descent and so many other concepts, dude.
Yeah.
In such simple terms. And I see the views, 10,000 views, 11,000 views.
Yeah, that is the problem. There's this guy, I don't know him, I don't remember his name, but he runs a YouTube channel by the name of Everyday Astronaut. So he talks a lot about rocket science. And honestly, this guy has taught me more rocket science than ISRO did. He talks so much about it, man. He talks 30 minutes, 40 minutes straight up. He goes to SpaceX, he talks to Elon Musk, directly takes his interview, and you are able to watch it for free. Absolutely free. That is amazing. And that guy is actually getting millions of views. So it depends on the crowd. If you actually find the educated people, there's not much shortage of them, but it is much more difficult. They are educated. Like if I want to teach rocket science to a bunch of PhDs, I have to be at a level higher than them.
Speaking of level higher, I really believe, dude, that every person in this world or in this country, or at least watching this podcast, should either write some kind of competitive exam such as UPSC, CA, or do a startup. Something difficult. Matlab, it will stretch your capabilities till next level.
Yeah.
Even if you do a startup, you fail, you will be a fantastic employee.
Yeah.
The company will not let you go. Even if you do UPSC and you fail, you're gonna your knowledge base will be everything. You know what I believe, that if I didn't do UPSC, I would not do anything in my life.
Yeah.
I would not get into martial arts. I would not do MBA. I would not do data science. Nothing. It gave me that base and confidence saying that yes, knowledge is power. It takes you places. It's a bridge to a better place. The more you read, the more you're able to learn. The place you will reach in your life will be so much better. Like I can see, like year by year, my life is becoming so much more refined and better. Me as a person, I'm becoming so much better. So people who spoke to me 1 year ago and they come talk to me now, the conversations will be so much different.
Yeah. So this one kid, Ravi Verma, came to my podcast. So he prepared for civil services examination, I think for 2 years, failed in both. And then he said that I need money. All right. So I cannot just sustain my preparation for any longer. So what he did is that he prepared for this GATE examination and all, engineering domain examinations, and he cracked freaking 9 examinations, man. He just changed his idea and he still continues to prepare for civil services. So now he got a job and now he's going to continue to prepare. He learned what is the value of struggle. He learned what is the value of hard work. And even if he failed in those examinations, he knows that he has gained something. Now there's this another guy who also came on this podcast, Rishi Raj. So he was kind of very average student. And he just gave GATE examination with full preparation. He had a surrounding where others were preparing. And then finally got a rank of 18 in GATE examination. And the point is that now he says that, okay, I was always an average student. I thought that I'll get a normal job. But now because of this whole preparation journey, Now I feel that I can do much better things in life because now you'll understand. So for example, if you look at me when I was,
what is the
Yeah.
common thing that you've understood
Yeah.
with all these people? What has happened to them?
Change.
Change is very vague.
Hmm.
See, what they did, they studied. They studied. They were studying to get a job, but something better happened to them.
Yeah.
One person was studying me. I was studying to get into IPS, but something better happened to me. What was that? My mind opened. My mind awakened. My mind was open to so many ideas. It could understand difficult concepts, things that I never thought that I could ever comprehend, man. I never thought that I would be working in an engineering portfolio, being a commerce graduate.
Yeah.
I never thought that would happen.
You might
man.
not be knowing about that. You need to check out the last podcast.
Yeah,
We're not going to repeat. Yeah.
See, that's what happened to me. Like my mind awakened. I was much more calmer, much more mature and understanding. I understood, okay, if I have to get to this level of in my life, these are the things I need to do. If I keep thinking, ho jayega, law of, what is that?
Law of attraction.
Stupid thing. Dude.
Super stupid, man.
Stupid
I've talked
thing,
so
man.
openly about it.
Horrible thing, man.
Yeah.
Arey yaar, I don't know how people follow it, dude.
I made a full video about that,
Good.
that it does not work.
It does not work if
And
you don't
I've
put the
followed
effort.
personally for 3 years. I read the book. I read 2-3 books on law of attraction. So
Believe,
stupid.
achieve,
Yeah.
all that bullshit.
Manifest
Very
and all.
bad. That is misguiding people.
Yeah, and they made millions meanwhile. That's it.
Let
That is what show them a easy way to success, and they are going to buy it. It's as simple as that.
It was very, very bad, man. It was so convincing also.
So convincing. Man, I was convinced. I was just 19 at that time. I watched a documentary. Frickin', this works, man. This is my problem.
I felt that phone in my hand. I felt that
Steering
BMW.
wheel. Yeah.
Stupid things. I really don't. But the alternative to that is any day working harder and smarter
Yeah.
to what you want to do.
Yeah.
See, today, I don't know, maybe I'm working in a private sector. Tomorrow, I might reach a bigger position in somewhere. And probably day after, who knows, you might see me in politics or something like that. That will happen only because of my understanding, my education, me learning, reading, seeing what's going on in society. And if in any day I become the education minister now, or at least joint secretary in some kind of education, primary or secondary education, I will make reading newspaper compulsory.
Really?
The Hindu must and should, for all 10th standard students, there will be a paper on that. There will be an examination paper in your boards.
What do you say about that a lot of population can be misguided because this media is also controlled?
See, it depends on the kind of paper you're reading. If you're reading, I don't know,
This is media in the oldest form. So media has always been
what
controlled.
are you reading? The reason I recommend Hindu is because the editorial section especially is pretty unbiased. They say what happened, what the government is doing, what they should do, what they should not do. Okay, this is what the editorial section is. And there won't be any author name and all and everything. It will be there. Editorial section is really good.
All right.
And every time you read the newspaper, you're a much better informed human being. The conversations that you have with people who are much more mature than you, much more educated than you.
I think this would be a good time to break out, Gagan. I never actually read newspaper in my life, my entire life, 27 years.
Yeah,
of
you
age.
should, man. Especially Hindu, I would say. I was doing it because for
UPSC.
IAS you have to, man. Like 80% of your questions come from there. And I never left that habit. I still read. Still read.
Isn't it like changing because now we have apps on our phone?
Let it be there, but I'm an old-fashioned guy, man. Like I need to see that and read it. I need to be able to underline. Like if there's a word I don't know, I underline it, Google it. What is this word? Oh, new word I learned today.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
All right.
And so I will make reading newspaper compulsory for sure.
Won't you make like martial art or some physical fitness?
See, you have to understand that martial arts and especially martial arts, okay, it is not for everyone. Okay? Physical fitness you can do. You can go running, you can play football, cricket, do yoga.
Would you say that it is for every girl in India?
Yeah, definitely, man. Like when I get married, if I have daughters, I'll
that is your personal life. But would you say that it is good for girls to have defense in this country?
Definitely.
So won't you make it compulsory?
See, I will give them a choice. Okay, not every girl is going to do that. Okay, interest would differ.
What about newspaper then?
See, newspaper, I would say it because it opens up your mind, man. And martial arts, you can only do it up until few years. That's it in your life. As self-defense, you can learn couple of techniques, how to get out of a rear naked choke and all those
Do you really
things.
think it is that easy?
See, if you know BJJ, it is easy. Okay.
And how much time does it take?
If you're a good practitioner, probably 10 seconds. 10 seconds. If you're practitioner, like purple belt kind of practitioner.
10 seconds to learn chokes.
No, get out of a choke.
All right. No. I'm saying how much time it takes to learn.
It takes time, man.
That's
That
it.
takes time, man.
So then again, that will take time. All right. So they will have to invest time in learning that as well.
They'll have to learn that, man. They need to see. I think everybody should learn how to fight, man. I think everybody should learn how to fight.
Yeah.
In the right manner. Okay.
So I'm asking you a question, Gagan. So if you had to make it compulsory for the students,
I would make it compulsory because that is my interest. How the response would be, that is something else. But I would definitely make it compulsory.
Akshay Kumar once actually wrote the letter, I think to PM, to make it compulsory.
Yes,
in all the
it's a
schools.
very good letter. He should. And see, the PM has made yoga, like they've advertised it. They said you need to have yoga classes because it's a part of our Indian culture. If we're teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in like schools, like it won't set well. They'll say, no, why are you doing this? Teach Kallaripattu, that is a part of Kerala.
That
or
is
something
fine
like
as
that.
well. That is
Yeah,
fine as well
something.
because that is pretty athletic. But then again, you don't know a lot of practitioners of Kalarippayattu.
See, I don't know a lot of practitioners because I don't know if it's effective in an MMA fight.
Well, yeah. See, number one, it is very scarce. So it is mainly concentrated towards southern India, and that too very scarce, very, very. So that is why we have not seen the sports aspect of it. So recently, a lot of you have seen a surge. Initially, we saw a surge of wrestlers in MMA. Obviously, it started with jiu-jitsu, but after that, we saw wrestlers, a lot of them getting in. Then it was wrestler plus boxer. That is a good combination. Then they said that no, Muay Thai is compulsory. For example, if you see Dominic Cruz, if you see, he's a wrestler plus boxer with a very good footwork. That's it. But very soon we saw his demise as well, right? Because he did not cope up with kicks. And his latest fight, you see, he is incorporating kicks now. Because now the fighters are very, very multidimensional. So we are seeing for Muay Thai got its own surge, right? And now we don't know because there's a form of Kung Fu which is called Sanda. And that is the kickboxing form of Kung Fu, right? So we have not explored that. I think that there's a great martial arts which nobody is paying attention towards, and that is Hapkido. It is a Korean form of martial art.
Okay.
And that is basically a combination of Taekwondo and Aikido.
Okay.
So these martial arts are not explored that well. And you might have heard this, that Kung Fu actually was born by this Kalarippayattu. Bodhidharma was a person, Bodhidharma if you call it in Hindi. He's the person who went to China and taught the monks over there. Monks were very, very non-violent people back then. And this is the person who taught them how to fight because they were getting robbed. Their jewelries and all, whatever gold they had, it was getting robbed by the bandits. So Bodhidharma taught them the art of fighting, and they later nourished it as Kung Fu.
Wow, man.
But you did not know about that.
I didn't know this, man.
All right.
Very informative.
Every now and then you need to talk to me again. I'm going to tell you a lot of things, right? So what I was saying was that it is not explored, but it is much better than doing nothing.
Yeah,
so a lot of people would be saying Wushu does not work, or what is that? Wing Chun doesn't work.
Okay.
It is better than doing nothing, man. All right. So you should know some defense or the other. So I would be satisfied with Kalarippayattu as well. I would be satisfied with boxing.
Boxing is great.
Yeah. Boxing is very practical.
Seriously. And it doesn't have a big history. It's only like 100, 150 years old.
The only problem is that boxing is not that much reliant on technique. Like, don't get me wrong, but a smaller size boxer is not going to beat up a bigger size boxer that easily, because bigger size is just going to eat it up. Especially when you have gloves. But let us say there are no gloves. Bigger boxer is going to take a lot of punch, and one punch of a bigger boxer is going to knock
because
it
the weight, there's a lot of weight difference over there. Okay? But if you say BJJ,
everything is equal because you're on the ground. Height does not matter. Size does not matter that much. We have seen a lot of fights where smaller practitioners.
My coach taps me out every single time. He is 30 kilos lighter than me. And I think yesterday was BJJ class for us, man. We're like, I'm like, okay, chalo, let's roll, okay. And within like 1 minute, I struggled and struggled and struggled. I tried to get some kind of submission, like an armbar or a kimura or something, or an Americana. Nothing happened.
So you have a like 20 kg weight difference and still that
30
happens.
kg
30 kg weight difference, right? So that is what I'm getting at. Like we basically started with girls knowing martial arts. And you need to get them prepared, especially when we see so much atrocities.
See, unfortunately, the atrocities that we see that is going on in society, like what women have to go through, I think it's great if they learn it. But it has to start from a very young age.
Yes.
Parents have to push for it.
That is why I'm saying schools, man.
See, when I say parents, it has to come from home, from the house.
Yeah, so everything is double-sided. I think you have to show them the value as well. And that we try to do as much as possible. But then again, let us say government says, from now on, girls are going to learn martial arts in school. That is not the end of your duty, man. What is the next part is that you educate the people who are not aware of that.
It's going to take time. You know,
because for some people, martial art is just Kung Fu and Jackie Chan.
I'll give you a plan of action on how to educate people. Okay. First of all, you need to get this, you need to give more light to other sports other than cricket.
Yeah.
Okay, please. First thing. Okay. Second of all, we need to send out our fighters abroad to fight in UFC, Bellator, have become good boxers in the UK and America.
Yeah.
Third, I would say open a promotion company in India.
They started and
there are many started
closed.
But they don't get good support.
Yeah.
Like how UFC gets and everything. America is different. Okay. Once we have the fighting culture here, once fighting is respected a lot, okay, that's when things would expand elsewhere. Man.
You were saying something about like how it is getting mainstream in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan and all that.
What happens is, so this is how I found out. So there's this there was this MMA competition. Okay, I got the message to participate.
Okay,
I'm like, no, I'm not going to participate because my kicks are not that great. Okay, boxing is there, wrestling here and there, but kicks are important.
Yeah.
Okay. So I found out that if you win there, you'll go to Kazakhstan.
Okay.
And what
for training? For training?
No, to fight.
Okay,
for finals or something like
all
that.
Right.
Okay. Over there, I read that it's just like how cricket is here. Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, they're like right next to each other, like India and Pakistan. Okay. Fighting is like cricket there. They start from a very young age. Kids from a very young age are extremely competitive. If I'm doing 10 push-ups, Tariq will do 15. If I'm doing 15 pull-ups, he'll do 20. They get angry. Why did you let me stop? So that's how it is brought up. Like that's how they are brought up over there. Fighting it's like what you say, like inbred within them. And that's why it's getting a good platform and everything. I don't know if you know, but Khabib started his own promotion, fighting promotion.
Yeah, I know.
It's called Eagle MMA or Promotions. Eagle Promotions. He's doing that because he comes from Dagestan. Dagestan is known to have the world's most brutal fighters. But there are other countries around Russia that have equally good fighters. So he's giving a platform for them.
Yeah.
If they are able to perform well, who knows? UFC might see, Bellator might see, they get called to America and fight there.
Yeah. All right. So it is a culture that needs to develop. Yes. But what I'm getting at is, okay, fighting is one thing. And a lot of people will be saying that these priced fighting is supposed to be illegal as well, because a lot of blood over there. People are getting into it. The career might just end up because of one injury. Understood. Okay, I understand that. What I'm talking about is awareness about these martial arts that can actually give you a power through technique to defend yourself, and it is very, very possible. I know this. I was always a chronic kid when I saw martial arts and what power it actually gives you because of speed and technique, and basically it is a deep science, man. You understand the anatomy of the body. You understand that, okay, if I hit in the liver, it has to be right side of the body and not left side, because the whole liver is tilted towards the right side. There's a peaking thing over here. You hit it, the liver blows up like a balloon, and it hurts your entire nervous system in a way that your body has to lay down to maintain pressure. So this is a science. And then you understand there's a solar plexus over here. And then what is jiu-jitsu, man? It's all about the anatomy and the understanding of joints. So this is a science that gives you the power. Even a smaller person can actually defend himself or herself. And not only that, did you watch that? A girl just slaps a cab driver multiple times.
Sad, man.
Yeah.
Very, very sad.
So it's not always one-sided these days because of this whole movement of feminism and all. A lot of things are going on. There's a documentary, I think on Netflix, Sons of India or something like that.
Okay.
And the problems that a lot of boys faced because of girls and a lot of movement. For example, two of my favorite podcasters, Chris D'Elia and Brian Callen. All right. These two people were just Me Too'd, man. And they lost their career for over 1 year. That's it. They lost their podcasts. And ultimately, when they found out, they looked at the background, they were innocent. They did the whole background check and they were both innocent. And one girl just accused Brian Callen for a thing that was accused because of what he did 21 years ago. And that also he did not do. So that can actually happen. So there's problem in both directions. Okay. But at least when it comes to self-defense, we all know what is the problem. Like there are cases, we have all heard about the case in UP and even the cops not doing anything about it, right? So you have to take the power, and we have talked about it. Me and Komal has talked about it on Talk and Fire podcast. And they're like kids in the comment section, I do not know how old. Yeah, go and teach that to the 3-year-old girl who got raped. Like, obviously, we can't teach that. But what about the girls who are growing up? How about teach them about the defense? Why are you looking at what we can't do? Look at what we can do. Right?
That's, first of all, that's very sad to hear whatever is happening. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very important that boys are raised up in the right way.
Yeah.
Okay, meaning me, I feel that I'm fortunate to be raised in a city like Bangalore and being raised by a single mother.
Yeah.
When you're raised by a single mother, you are taught to respect a woman. You have no other choice. If you don't, you're going to get whooped. Okay, that's how it is. Unfortunately, in patriarchal societies where male dominance is extreme and to a large extent, it's very important to raise boys the right way. And how do you do that? It's very important that in a family, when a father has a son, and if that son sees the father abusing the mother, talking in a wrong manner, shouting and all that, it's going to inculcate in the son, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If the son is raised in the right manner, if he sees the father is always respectful to the mother, doesn't abuse her, doesn't shout at her, always is playful, kind, gentleman, it's going to get picked up by the kid, man.
Yeah, a lot of things you learn subconsciously.
See, and kids know.
Better learning.
They see and learn.
Yeah.
They see and learn.
Yes. Yeah.
They see and learn. Like, if they see you working out, see, if you're a father and you have a kid, if they see you working out, if they see you eating healthy, if they see you reading, learning, they're going to pick it up.
Yeah, and that is why that happens in the negative side as well, whatever they say.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it does. But we have to do the best we can. We have to control what's in our hand.
Okay, now that is the topic that I wanted to discuss, like whenever it comes to girls and martial arts. And I've been in martial art dojo since I was 8 years old. And what I've seen is the worst part is that ratio over there is also like boys are more into it, and they want, you look at our class where we learned MMA. How many girls were there? None, right? Most of the time, right? So that is what happens. But let us get into different part. Like, it has changed my life a lot, the whole martial art thing. And a lot of people who still ask me, like, what was the turning point? Like, you were not that good of a student back in your school. How did it turn? So I always say that I just did one thing. I joined my martial arts class again. That gave me a lot of things, and the top of it would be confidence, which basically told me that, okay, you can do things. If you do work towards a particular thing, you can achieve few things. How do you think that it helps you, and because of which you continue? Yeah, all right, competing every now and then is okay, but you still keep on doing it because it helps your life. And if I'm not wrong, you'll continue to do it.
Yeah, man, I'll continue to do it till I'm not bored. Okay. The day I get bored, I'm going to pick up something else. Okay. Like, the same thing happened to me with
something else, physical or
physical, something, I don't know, something physical itself. I was gymming and I got extremely bored. Picked up martial arts, man, and I'm enjoying it. Like, I get to meet a lot of great, smart individuals over there. Okay. So what was your question again?
How does martial art influence your life, and why do you think it is very important? Martial arts or physical fitness in general?
First thing, you need to be extremely mentally strong. Okay. the mental toughness that you develop in MMA or any kind of martial arts, you can push it forward in your other aspects, such as your studies, your office work, or your career in whatever you do. It teaches you mental toughness. Second of all, it teaches you with discipline you can achieve anything. Okay. And the quality of your nasha. Okay, I always tell my friends this, dude. Like, what you get drunk, man? What you smoke up, man? What do you do this, man? The quality of your I tell them, your nasha is very cheap. Man, have something that is always there with you, and it's going to be great for you. Okay, see, I'm not saying that I don't do all those things. I do it occasionally. I have it under control. Okay. But always doing it, getting a big belly, double chin, no cardio, you walk like a sloth. It's very sad, man.
Yeah.
It's very sad. I always say that have addictions that are good for you. Have addictions where you work out, you're performing well, where you're doing good things in life. Going to gym is not bad. It's a great thing, man. You're getting a good physique, confidence. You're mentally so much better. And moreover, in other aspects, such as one nasha that I really inculcate is that if I don't do the work, it eats me up.
Yeah.
If there's some work when it comes to my career, my office, and I don't do it, it eats me up. Like I can't sleep in the night.
Okay.
That's how it is. If I don't do it well as well, no, it'll be in the back of my mind. Oh, I should have done that. And it'll always be in the back of my mind. Oh, I could have done this. I could have done that. It helps me explore. So that's how I explore new technologies, new ways, new books. I read articles. Oh, this is how it could be done. This new thing is coming up. We could implement it in this project. It's going to change this for the company. So this is what martial arts does to you.
Yeah.
It opens up your mind.
Yeah.
It gives you control over your emotions, and it gives you discipline. Without discipline, you're just an animal.
Yeah, and obviously what you're learning through martial arts, the brain is same, and you apply it somewhere else as well.
Yeah, see,
you're going to see
fighting is a thinking man's game, for sure. If you're not able to think, if you think that it's only muscle and body, that's bodybuilding. Whereas fighting, no.
Yeah.
It's a thinking man's game. You need to know when to attack, when to defend. You need to be able to conserve your stamina. If you're able to think, that's nothing.
Every other sports, okay, maybe weightlifting not so much, but let us say you're looking at badminton or basketball, everything involves thinking.
Yes, I'm not saying no. It does involve thinking. It's like badminton or your
football.
Basketball, football. Definitely. No doubt about it. But fighting, if you don't see in basketball, you make a mistake. You maximum what you lose a point. In fighting, you make a mistake, you'll get knocked out.
Yeah.
And it might end
That
up
is
a
the
concussion.
first thing I understood when I was 17 years old. So I was in 11th standard and I was doing karate at that time. So I was competing regularly, like sparring and all. Every Sunday we had to spar. And I had reached somewhere like purple white belt or something like that. So my friends and all, smoke cigarette and all, drink beer, they all started with that. The only reason I did not do it is because my health and my stamina would be hampered because of that. And if my health is not at its peak, I'm going to get my head kicked out. That's it. That is what kept me away from all of those things.
That fear of getting knocked out, man, seriously.
And that is what I said. So I have done my BTech in Northeast, right? So I was talking about this earlier before this podcast, that a lot of boys over there are super athletic. But the problem that they are facing is that a lot of them are smokers. But they play badminton, they play football, but if they don't have this much amount of stamina, they don't score a goal. They don't get their head kicked off, right? So yeah, in that sense, obviously,
your stamina is extremely important.
Yeah.
Man. It's seriously something else. And one perk, like I would say, a good thing, okay, that of doing martial arts, you get noticed it. Oh, girls will be like, oh, you're a boxer. Oh, you karate. You put some nice punching video.
I don't know what part of you grew up in Bangalore, so there must be. But I always said this to girls and they think that I'm some kind of freak who is just running around in white geese or something like that. So it does.
Many of them don't know what is jiu-jitsu, and so I have to tell them, look, if you learn jiu-jitsu, you can choke a guy like me. You can break my arm. You're like so small. You can do it if you know jiu-jitsu. Like, then they go on my profile, they see everything.
Yeah,
was
so
almost-
maybe now things are changing, but when I was chasing girls and all back in at least till 2018 time, I would say that nobody gave a shit.
They didn't know about
They
it.
basically thought that I was a freak, and it would be much better if I would have told them that I play football or something, because they actually know it. They know Cristiano Ronaldo, and thanks to Connor McGregor, I guess a lot of people know about
lot of
martial
things.
arts.
A lot of people know a lot about fighting
Yeah.
now, and it's always different. Like when I'm in a group, no, my friends always say, "Hey man, this guy's a fighter." So the conversation is so much better. They ask me questions.
They don't think about that you are a brute guy who kicks people's asses, things like that.
No, see, they come to know by talking to me. Okay, like see, first of all, like fighting is not my main thing. Like I study, I work, so they come to know. Okay, fighting is something that I do just as a hobby. But they always have a sense of respect. Oh wow, you do this, or you fight. So they ask me questions like, how can I do this? I want to be able to kick. What's wrestling? What's takedown? I tell them. So the conversation is so much more better, and it's like I'm always like, I don't know, the odd one out, but I'm the one like people talk to, and they're interested to ask questions and everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're going to find very rarely people who are into martial arts and these combat sports and all, which is the reason why a lot of gyms are shutting down. Right? But maybe people are going to find out more about it. It never made sense to me, actually. Me personally, other sports and all never actually made sense to me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cricket never made sense to me.
Cricket, even football, man.
Football I loved. I used to kick the ball from goalpost to goalpost.
Yeah,
Power was always there
It is
with me.
fun, but if I'm going to optimize my time, then I'm going to find that one sport or one physical activity that is going to help me in self-defense, make me the fittest, fastest, because I know that kicks are going to remove your belly the fastest, because all it is about is abdomen.
Yeah.
Right? And then again, it is kind of individual thing, so I can do it at any time. So it always made more sense to me in that, which kind of is an excuse for a lot of introverts.
I don't know, dude. I didn't think that much like you. I just went with the flow. What interest I had, I did it.
Yeah.
I got interest in football. I went for football.
I don't think that you are ever going to get bored of martial arts. You often say that when I get bored, I'm going to get out.
See, I don't know, man. I haven't gotten bored yet because I know I have lots to learn.
It is not a sport, Gagan. Martial art is not a sport.
It's a way of life.
No, it is a different domain, Gagan. You understand? People make it in the domain of sports. Sports is a different domain. How many martial arts have you heard of in this podcast only? A different martial arts is a different domain. There's an aspect of sport to it. So you are not exploring one sport. You are exploring one domain. And lifetime will certainly not be sufficient for you if you just keep on going. Like even if you just start jiu-jitsu today, 10 years down the line, you are never going to be satisfied.
Yeah. I have to learn this. I have to do that. I have to get a blue belt, brown belt, black belt, coral belt. It'll be like that. It's like a never-ending process. I guess so, man.
Yeah. All right. Are you in a hurry? I see you checking the time every now and then.
No, dude. I was just checking my messages.
Are you tired? You want more coffee?
No, dude.
Tell me, man.
Very strong coffee, yeah.
Okay.
You
All
made
right.
it, seriously.
Yeah. So, shall we get into some other topic?
Yeah, dude. Let me know.
You have anything in mind? Because I have bunch in my
Tell
mind.
me, what do you want to
Okay,
know?
so I wanted to get into this whole lockdown thing that is going on. This is a new age that we are living in. There's no getting out, I guess, because it has
dude,
been...
see, you have to understand this pandemic or whatever, coronavirus and whatnot and everything is here to stay. Masks are here to stay. Social distancing is here to stay.
A lot of states in US actually removed the compulsion.
See,
of
that's
masks.
them. Okay, meaning we can't talk about the US, but in India, what we're facing right now, you have to understand that the healthcare infrastructure in the US is much better than in India. Their vaccination coverage is much more better. Okay, the medicines they have, it's much more effective. But in India, it's different, man. Like our healthcare system, we saw it collapse in the second wave. A lot of people expired, unfortunately. So, and the way we work also has changed. Okay, and I really believe that COVID is here to stay. Maybe if not totally eradicated, there'll be a part of it, even if the complete population has been vaccinated.
Yeah.
And
so there's this YouTube channel called Vox. Have you heard of it?
no.
It's pretty brilliant, man. You should definitely check it out if you want authentic information. So they gave some authentic information about COVID as well. And they explained why COVID is so viral. And one part of it, which is the reason that it is derived from an animal. Okay. So, and another reason that it mutates is a reason why it is very difficult to eradicate, because there are a lot of viral infections that has been eradicated, right? Smallpox would be one of them, but this is very difficult to 100% eradicate from the entire globe, right? So obviously that would be one thing that it is going to stay for a long time at its best, at least, right? So what were you saying then? This is the new way of life that we have.
Man, you got to learn to work with it, okay? Meaning the best thing, I would say this lockdown has been the best productive period for me. I've been able to focus on my work. I've been able to focus on learning new things. I've been able to focus on my masters. I had time for my martial arts. I've been able to do so much, give time for myself. Like I'm becoming better on monthly basis or quarterly basis, okay? Because I've used my time like that, the time that I had. Because I know that this time that I invest in myself would reap the benefits somewhere down the line in the future.
Yeah.
It's going to give some kind of opportunity is going to come that it's going to take my life to another trajectory altogether. Okay. And one more thing is that unfortunately students haven't had such a great time because dude, online classes
We
are
are the
horrible.
luckiest one. We just did our college. Yeah, working professionals.
Students, masters, guys are doing their bachelors, masters, or PhDs now. Unfortunately, it's been tough on them because going to college, interacting with people is a part of college. I mean, I miss that about college where I used to meet my friends. And one thing is that people who are in this phase where they are unable to focus on exams or because of this online classes and everything, I would say that you have to learn to adapt. It's very, very important.
All right. The problem.
Don't leave your education, please.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people who are thinking about like, how about I start a YouTube channel now?
Yeah,
and all
go
those
for it.
things. Go for it, but please understand that a proper education is also necessary. So don't completely forget about that part. One thing I love about my situation right now, if the whole YouTube shuts down, I have a career still going on. I've completed my education. I can get a job. It's not an issue at all, right? So you should definitely have that. A lot of people hate to bring it back to fighting. They'll say the same thing. Even in any sports in general, that you have an education, any sport is going to last for 10 years, 15 years at max. And then you have to go back over there. But a lot of kids will not be able to understand this part because the Carry-Minati effect.
See, kids are different, okay? Because like when you're 18, 19, 20, no, your mind is not that.
Look at things physically. Whatever works, this works. I'll do this.
Yeah.
Like that.
See, the mind is not that matured. Okay. And see, for me as well. Okay. Like I have a good stable career. I'm earning well. I'm doing well. If martial arts doesn't work out for me, it's fine. No big deal. Okay. When it comes to kids, no, you can't tell them anything. They're still exploring. That age is like that, where they're exploring. And I think it's good. Let them go explore. Let them understand what mistakes they're making, and they'll come back by themselves. I was like that. I made a lot of.
You did not have reels, Gagan. So it is easier to say it for you. You let your kid go explore Instagram, and they are going.
No, dude. What I did was I used to play Dota 2 a lot. Dota 2, it's a computer game, okay, and it's like online and everything.
I'm an engineer.
Yeah, so I used to play a lot. And I did it for quite some time and everything. Even now I kind of miss it. I feel, oh, Saturday I should go meet my friends, play one game. But I don't get the time. Okay?
Dota is a smart game, man.
Yeah, it's a strategic game.
Yeah.
It's a strategic game that I feel, okay.
Man, I'm a big pro when it comes to video games. I'll always say video games are good for you because I was a big time gamer as well. That is what I did throughout my time since the days of the cassettes. The day where you need
I still remember those days.
Mario,
Contra Force.
Yeah. Till the point where I needed a graphics card, till the point that this is a gaming computer actually, gaming laptop. Yeah.
It's been so long since I played a game.
I have a YouTube channel. I put my gaming videos every now and then.
What games do you put there?
I have played Assassin's Creed, Odysseys. I have played Call of Duty. I've played bunch of different
Play God of War, man.
I don't have a PlayStation or Xbox. Yeah.
Dude, that's the game to play.
I've played God of War's couple of parts on my PSP, PlayStation Portable, you remember?
Hey, no, dude. Play the latest one, man. No.
Yeah, I have seen all the walkthroughs, man. I know how epic it is.
Seriously, like
Even the story and all, how it goes, man.
Amazing.
That is the thing a lot of people don't know about games. Like, a lot of games actually have much better storyline than a lot of movies that you've watched.
Do, man. Seriously.
For example, Prince of Persia, Call of Duty, Black Ops. These
Assassin's
are
Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
God
Freaking
of
the
War.
Ezio Auditore story.
Oh, man.
Right?
It's your Brotherhood, no? That is?
The first part was Assassin's Creed 2, second was Brotherhood, and third was Revelations. So this basically concises, and then there was a movie, animated movie on that as well.
Oh my god, dude. It's
Have you played that game?
Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
I played it, man. Like, not the latest one.
Latest one sucks,
That
man.
Egypt, not good, huh?
They have made it an RPG. So, like I said, I was playing Assassin's Creed Odysseys. So you can't proceed from a certain level in the story. So you can't defeat the enemies. So you'll need to buy some things from their store, or you just have to roam around doing side tasks and all. So the whole philosophy of Assassin's Creed has changed. And the Valhalla part that came, the Viking one, I don't really understand. They have moved into different domain. The last sane Assassin's Creed that was made was, I think, the Syndicate one, the one in London. That was the last Assassin's Creed. That was proper Assassin's Creed. But till the time, at least, this Unity, the one during the French Revolution, was tremendous, man. I learned so much about the history because of that. Dude. So much about the history. The American Revolution was so amazing.
There is this one character over there, dude. Catherine SFORZ, Forza, in that French Revolution thing.
Okay.
So this is she was a woman. Okay. So her father was the king. Okay, and he was like the man, like a masculine kind of a man. She's very interesting. Okay.
All right.
So this is I'm saying this stories because I want people to understand the masculine and feminine dynamics of a human being.
Yeah.
She was raised seeing her father doing sword fighting, ruling an entire city, meaning doing politics, meaning whatever a king does, and that inculcated within her. Okay. Years later, when she was married, her first husband was a drunk, wasn't that interested in doing anything.
Yeah.
But when the time came to rule, where every company, every city, every country, every person will have a time of crisis in their life. So a time of crisis came in the city as well, that she was ruling.
How come I never went through the story, man?
Because you don't read, my brother. Listen to this.
Okay.
Listen to this. Okay. So there was like army troops coming in, okay, to her city to overtake it and everything. She was, I think, 6 months pregnant at that point of time. Okay. She remembered her father at that point of time. Her father was no more when she was pregnant. Then she had a crazy strategy where at that point of time everything was controlled by the church, the Pope and all that thing. Okay.
14th century.
She disguised herself. She covered her belly and went out of the castle.
Okay.
And she was able to get the Pope in a watchtower. Okay. And she was able to negotiate a truce. Okay. She bought time for 10 days. People were ready to kill her. People were ready to kill everybody from her family. But she, at that moment, took such a stand that not even a husband could take. And she learned all of this from her father.
All right.
Okay. Her name is Catherine Forza. It's spelled SFORZA. She's a wonderful character in history.
So was this character in Assassin's Creed?
Yes.
Unity? Where?
There was a sexual scene also in the game with this character.
Man.
Yeah.
So I probably missed it out.
Yeah, man. See, the reason I'm telling you this story is because I see a lot of women, okay, they're like, what should I do in my life? I don't know. I don't have this. I don't have that. And that is a very wrong way of looking at things.
Okay.
Maybe it's not their fault. Maybe it's been their upbringing. Maybe the things they've been told by their parents. तुम लड़की हो, ये नहीं कर सकती, सिर्फ लड़के कर सकते हैं. Okay. I would say no. Okay. I really think that a woman should always have a strong masculine figure in her life. Ideally, it should be the father. If the father is not there, or if it's not a strong masculine figure, they should seek one outside. When I say seek one, don't go looking out for a man. a strong figure that you can read.
Why
and
can't
study
it be
about.
a strong feminine figure?
It can be. No, dude, Indira Gandhi was such a strong feminine figure. There's so many across history. Strong masculine figure, strong feminine figure, it does not matter. But a strong figure for a female is very important to be in a position of power.
All right.
And I really believe that more than men, I really believe that women can do a better job being in a position of power.
Yeah, what is this country, man? For example,
You know why? When
just do one thing, keep it near your mouth.
Yeah, dude.
Not that close.
Okay.
You are here, so
Okay, sorry.
it does not collect from this
Okay,
side.
sorry. Now it's
What
better.
I'm going to do in future is that I'm going to give the guest a headset as well, because
Okay.
you are not able to see now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
not an issue.
as I was saying that, I really believe that women should be in a position of power. One reason why is that men are very egoistic. Okay. See, when a man fails in life or something bad happens to a man, they blame it outside. I worked with this guy. I shouldn't have gone with him. I partnered with this guy. I shouldn't have partnered with him. Man, I should have had the brains to not go with this person. Women are opposite. If their friends are not talking to them, no, they will say, "What's wrong with me? Am I not pretty enough? I'm not a good person." They have that in them. Unfortunately, that's how it is.
Or fortunately.
It'll implode, dude. It's better to explode than to implode. You understand, right? And this is why I believe that a woman should be in a position of power, because they self-reflect. Men don't do that.
Yeah,
They look for external
men are
remedies.
egomaniacs, man. That is the reason why all the conquerors in the history were men. There's not a single woman who turned out to be a conqueror that I want to capture the entire world.
Yes.
And if you want to see the example, this what is that most northern part? Iceland. Yes, this is a crazy country, man. Does not have a military.
I see.
Can you believe? Yeah, I just watched one video by Johnny Harris yesterday. This country does not have a military. It also wanted to stay neutral throughout the World War II, but obviously when war happens, then you are going to be conquered.
You can, yeah.
Right. And there's the prime minister of that country is a female. Now this is another country, Finland. So Finland is known for its education. It's having probably the best education throughout the world, and it is completely different, man. You check it out. Their way of teaching is completely different. All the education minister and the leaders of that country, all women.
Really?
They're doing great.
See, they're doing great.
Yeah.
See what I just said? Women should be in a position of power. Okay. And another thing is that this goes to everyone, irrespective of your gender, irrespective of where you are in your life. Okay. And I think this is specific towards people who are into startups or leadership positions. Okay. I know one thing about myself, that I'm not a CEO material kind of a guy.
Why not?
I am not a CEO material kind of
What
a
is
guy.
a CEO material, Gagan?
CEO material kind of guy is a person who's straightforward, who has clarity in his vision and thought. Okay. He's a number one kind of a guy. Okay. What I am, I'm a number two or number three kind of a guy. If I find a guy whose vision is clear, whose path is clear, I can support him. I can be his backbone to ensure that he's going in the right path. I can be a number three who can lead the operations, who can ensure that things are working well within the company, so that externally also things work well for the company. And I believe that when people say that I want to be CEO, I want to be MD, director, man, you need to have maturity first for all that. You need to know yourself. It's very important to know yourself before you can make such powerful statements, because when you're talking to experienced, mature people, no, they will know this guy, with people who have like 20 plus years of experience, 15 plus years of experience, working experience, no, they'll judge a person's character just by talking to them. They have that experience, especially in the corporate field or even in the government sectors. They will understand this. And you need to be very, very honest with yourself. Know yourself before you choose a right path.
Yeah, that is pretty smart of you to accept that. Gagan, very few people will actually accept that.
Yes.
Everyone wants power.
See, I'm not saying I want power.
Yeah.
I just don't want power. I want absolute power. And I say absolute. Yeah.
But what?
Yeah, dude, anybody who wants power, they want full. Dude, do you want just little money in your life, or you want lot of money in your life? You want lot of money in your life. Do you want just little subscribers? You want lot of subscribers. Similarly,
That's where you are wrong again.
See,
I'm
listen.
pretty happy with the number of subscribers.
See, good for you. But I'm saying that if I get power, it's generally that's how it is, man.
Different people are different though.
But if I get power, I want lots of power. But it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. But let us say it happens. Then what?
Then what?
Then you have the entire world, and the entire world's people. Some are starving. Some are having diseases.
Yes.
How do you manage that?
See, are you asking me if I was a dictator?
Yes.
Oh, man,
because especially because you have watched How to Become a Tyrant.
No,
I was not knowing that your objective was completely different.
That's true. Okay, now, first of all, I would not want to be a dictator because I would not be a good one because I'm too sweet to be a dictator. Okay. Second of all, okay, being a dictator in this day and age, where
Not
people
possible.
are so educated, so well aware, they know the importance of a constitution, written laws. It's different. Okay, it's not my thing. But if I have power, I want to have the right kind of power. Okay, and
What is the right kind?
see, have you ever noticed one thing? Why do middle class people write IAS exams? Why do middle class people want to get into government jobs? Majority of them are middle class. Whoever writes IAS, IPS and all. You understand?
Because it is cheap to write that examination.
Cheap and all, leave. That is fine. Dude, come on. You can't pay like $500. It's very cheap. I understand. Cost has nothing to do with it.
It has everything, Gagan.
It's a very small amount.
Ask them, can they go for MS abroad or can they do MBA?
See, if your goal is to do masters, people will find a way if you're smart.
By the way, I'm not only talking about civil services, I'm talking about all the government examinations.
Okay, I'm talking only about civil services.
Okay, now that is different.
Civil services or even government exams. So why is it that only middle class people have, majority, there was some survey done by UPSC and they found that middle class people majoritarily write IAS, IPS, these government service exams. People who are high class or well off, they generally don't write this exam.
Okay.
Generally, there are people exceptions here and there, but well and fine.
All right.
Okay. The reason is that power, man. When you go to a place and you're not given, and you feel that you're not given the respect and the importance you're due, and you felt that if I was in this position, no, it will be something else.
Okay, just tell me, what has more power, politics or you are becoming a civil services officer?
See, if you want to serve, civil servant, but at the end of the day, politics has power.
Then why don't all the middle class people go for politics?
Because they can't get in there.
Why not?
Because your father should be a politician.
Not necessarily.
अरे सिर के ऊपर बाप का पैसा होना चाहिए, or else you can't get through.
I've seen a lot of people getting into that just by doing social activities and they do it
but
for
it
years.
takes a long time for them.
Yeah.
When you're 50, 60s, when you're...
Yeah, so if power is all they are hunting, then why don't they do that?
See, your question is not right. Okay. Your question was, which has more power, politics or bureaucracy? Politics. Being an MP is better than being an IAS or IPS.
All right.
That is for
better
sure.
in terms of power.
See, the senior most political power in the state is the chief minister. The senior most administrative power, meaning the senior most bureaucrat in the state, is cabinet secretary. Chief secretary. Cabinet secretary is the flag bearer for IAS across India. Okay. Who selects? See, if I am the chief minister of Karnataka, I will select my own IAS officer. Okay.
Yeah.
So politics has more power over there. Okay, it is true. But you have to understand that it is not total power. It is controlled power. And there are certain rules, regulations, constitutions that govern it.
So when you go for, let us say, civil services, that is also very much controlled.
See,
by the people who are ahead of or above of you, and those are going to be the politicians.
See, you need to know how to... See, that's the game. What I said, that book, The Prince, when you are in a position of power or when you're into public life, you're going to meet a lot of bad people. You're going to have a lot of disagreements. You need to know how to maneuver yourself through it. You will have disagreements. Dude, we have seen many instances where IAS officers have gone against ministers and so many things have happened. Okay. You need to know how to maneuver yourself through it. You just can't be that angry young man who decides I'm going to be the most honest IAS IPS officer and do it. No, it's not going to work out, man. You will get kicked out. You will get suspended for some reason or whatnot.
Okay.
You need to know how to keep your head down and work, and you need to know how to maneuver yourself through it.
So IAS is the quickest way to power.
It is this. Come on, if you're an IAS officer, the respect itself is something else, man. This entire district will be in your control. So many important decisions would your decisions would impact a lot of lives.
Can I say this? Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of people are going for civil services because it is respected the most.
It is the most respected service in the nation, and
that is not going to be the same for politics.
See, I don't know. I can't talk about politics that much. I only know what I read.
We can talk about common people though.
See, we can talk about it. See, what I'm saying is that IAS is the most respected job in the country. The position that you'll have, the power that you'll have, the respect that will be given to you because of the decisions that you'll be making. Okay. Now you're in Pune. There is a danga, Hindu-Muslim danga that's happened over there. There's some riot that is going on over there. You can't take out your books, read. You can't call the politician. No, nothing. You have to be quick on your feet. How are you going to handle it?
Yeah.
Who's heading that?
Yeah.
Who are the religious leaders over there? You have to directly talk to them. It's very important to know. See, that's one reason why UPSC has such an elaborative syllabus. Meaning you're 21 years old, just passed engineering, and you'll be reading history at MA level. You have to read entire history of India. Why? Because it will help you in your administration. Knowledge. To know the history of the place that you are in. It's very important. Why geography we read so much?
Yeah.
To understand the locality as well. That is why they ensure that your knowledge is ripe for the job.
Okay. So let us look at a righteous side, and a lot of people might be doing it for a good reason. So a lot of middle class people have seen a lot of problems that the common people actually face. A lot of people actually want to solve that. That is also true. A lot of people want to do that because of that as well.
See, earlier how it was, if you want to solve the problems of society, you get into a government job. Okay, become IAS, IPS. Kuch karo, work on the grassroots level with people and try to make a change, make an impact. And there have been many wonderful bureaucrats throughout this nation that have done extremely good jobs. Okay? Yeah. Or joined politics or whatever not. Okay. Now things have changed. There are bureaucrats who have quit their jobs, IAS jobs, and started companies. They feel they can have a better impact by starting a company.
That is true as well. Yeah.
Things are changing, man. God knows tomorrow what's going to happen.
So I don't have many friends who are in civil services, but I have bunch of friends who are in engineering services. And the power at that level, what they share is very simple. Like if you want to do something, you can do it. You want to change the education system of this government school nearby your office, you can do it. You can change the life of the 500 people working below you. You want to educate them, you can do it. You have that much amount of power to create change. Obviously, the power would be much higher when you look at administrative services and all, right? So yes, you can create change over there as well. But I would say that pointing out just one thing would not be correct. There's always a concoction of a lot of things that are influencing the common public. One would be power. The second would be the influence that you create. The third will obviously be the respect in the society, right? So a lot of people want to become ISRO scientists just because of the tag. I get those calls on a regular basis that I want to become an ISRO scientist. And when I ask why, they don't have an answer.
Your why should be very compelling.
Yeah.
If anybody has ever had that moment in their life where they were humiliated or were utterly defeated or felt that, and I've had these moments in my life where I felt if I worked harder, I could have done better. Okay, when you have such moments, where you're helpless, but feel that if I would have worked harder or if I would have studied harder, things would have been different. When that emotion hits you, for God's sakes, don't dose it off by eating, by drinking, by smoking. Let it sink in. Remember that emotion. Remember that moment that your father was unwell. You knew that if you would have worked hard earlier in your life, you would have been able to take care of him today. Remember that moment where your mother is ailing and you wasted those years roaming around with your friends drinking. Remember that moment where you saw your father say, "Beta, तुम्हारे fees के लिए पैसे arrange करने हैं." Remember that moment. It is only those moments that will impact you so much. That pain, no? That impacts you so much that you'll make a change. I never listen to anybody that says, "Gagan, wow, Gagan, you're so great. Wow, Gagan, you're so smart. You're a fighter. You're studying. You're doing this." Yeah. I'm like, brother, if you have something bad to say about me, come. अच्छा बोलना है, message में डाल दो. I won't even read it.
Because facts don't make you better, no?
See, because these things, no, they will only inflate my ego. They'll not help me make great change. I've had numerous instances where people have told me in my life, you will not do anything. I still remember those people. I have written it down. I'm not joking. I have written that sentence that person says, dash that person's name.
Is it?
I have written it down.
Isn't it little bit toxic to carry those people?
No. I'm using it in a right way. I took it personally, but I'm using it in a right way.
But aren't you burning within?
No. See, I am burning, but that fire is fueling something productive.
Okay.
So that is what, like, I've written these things down. I remember those people, like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, when I wasn't in the right path. I remember that. And every time that I'm going the other way, something within me, some compass would take me back to that moment.
All right.
Okay, you need to do that. And it's a bad feeling also. And then you calm yourself down and then you start doing your work.
All right. That makes sense. There are different ways to keep yourself on track. And what you said.
Dude, my views are very extreme, man. Not everybody will be able to relate.
Yeah.
Only the ones who have faced that pain, would remember that pain, They're like, yeah.
So there was one time in 2018. So it was May, June, July time 2018. I was really in a bad situation, like in a hunt of a job. And I went to multiple people and they just stopped taking calls like that. So they basically betrayed. A lot of them were my family members as well. So what I did is that in their phone number contact, I placed a term loser in bracket just next to their names. And I said that I'm in this situation. It is going to change. I know for sure. But I don't want to forget what they did. And I'm saying and declaring today itself that they are losers for not helping the person who has the capability to get out of it without their help as well. And they did not see that when it was blatantly in front of them. But then later I removed the loser part because I did not just want to carry it along with me in my life.
See, I don't know about you. I'm different from you, man. See, I'm not carrying it. See, I don't have a grudge against those people.
Yeah.
I meet them today. I talk to them well. Like, dude, come, let's go out, man. Let's have food. Let's catch up. Let's go here. But it's still in the back of my mind. And you said this, you remember?
Yeah.
I don't say it out to them.
Yeah.
Like, the position that I'm in, the things that I'm doing in my life, the path that I'm going through, it proved them wrong.
Yeah. So, there are different ways.
When I won that state championship, right? Like, I won by knockout. And even, the guy I knocked out also, he follows me. Right? Like, seriously. And he's also a great guy.
Do you follow back?
Yeah, definitely. Like, he's preparing for IAS and he asks me for tips and everything. And
where does he train, by the way?
It was in Bangalore itself, in a place called Uttaralli. It was in a ground. It was an amateur boxing fight.
Yeah. We never got time to talk about that. I want to know more. So you have time, right?
Yeah.
So explain a little bit about that. So what happened is that one day I just called you. For what reason I don't remember.
Yeah,
but it was 10 o'clock at night. And you said that, bro, I just won the championship and I want to talk more about it later. But we never actually got time because that was the high part of your life. So obviously I can understand. So we are going to talk about it later. So let's talk about it. Like, what was the whole thing? How many months did you prepare for it?
I started boxing in September of 2020.
Yeah.
And I won the championship in March of 2021.
Okay.
And
less than a year.
I'm sorry?
Less than a year.
Pretty much less than a year. But I worked hard. Like, if you ask my coach, he proudly says Gagan worked hard. Like, I knew one thing, my technical skills wasn't that great. The only reason I won
technique when it comes to boxing.
Yeah, technique. Like, the way you punch, the way you turn, pivot. Okay, it wasn't that great. I just had a couple of things that were working for me: my footwork, my stamina, and my power.
Okay.
I wanted to ensure that if I am punching him, something has to break. That was my intention. Okay, if I'm hitting him, he has to feel like he got hit by a train. Okay, and that's how I train. Okay, so that was because this was in my hand. Technique takes years to develop, and karate is so technical in nature.
Yeah.
So I focused on that, and second round it was a knockout. It was like the referee calls us. And he'll check whether there's no padding in your gloves. He'll check your mouth guard, your groin guard, and everything. He says we both stand in front of each other. I want a good clean fight and everything. That guy is staring at me in the eyes. Okay, no, he's trying to intimidate me. Like,
was Saroj on your corner?
Yeah, he was my coach, dude. Like he was jumping, dude, when I won. So he was trying to intimidate
so
me.
let us take a step backward to get a perspective. So this is a state level, Karnataka state level amateur boxing, right? So in amateur boxing, you have a head guard. No, you don't.
It used to be there. They stopped. For girls, they have. No.
Okay, all right. So you have all of this, and then this is like a thing that you registered for 2 months before, right? So how much time did you?
I registered, I think, a month ago, 20 days.
Okay.
The fight.
All right, but just before 20 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are pretty regular. I know that you are regular with your workouts and all. So how did you direct your whole focus towards that? Obviously, you are having a job as well.
Yeah. So the thing was, it was on the weekend. So I applied a leave off on Friday. And my fight was on Sunday.
I'm talking about the, let us say, 20 days preparation.
Yeah, dude. So I used to run in the morning and I used to go train in the evening.
Did you change anything? That is your usual routine?
My intensity went up high.
Okay.
My training intensity went up high. And we did a lot of conditioning work. Conditioning matlab, your body should be conditioned in such a way that you should be able to stand and fight for 3 minutes. For 3
what
rounds.
did you do for that?
Man, we did a lot of preparing
hurdle running,
jumps, footwork training,
weights,
little bit here and there, and a lot of bag work.
Okay.
Bag work is that you have to keep punching
Timed
even when
one.
you're
timed one, like 5-minute round, something like that.
Keep punching for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, even when your shoulders are hurting, even when your hands are hurting. That is how you develop endurance and power. When you can't punch, that is when you have to pivot your body and punch.
So what are the rules of amateur boxing? Like how many rounds and what is the point system over there?
So it's 3 rounds. That's it.
How many minutes?
Each round is 3 minutes.
And 1 minute gap in between?
Yeah, 1 minute gap in between.
All right. And point system is 10-point system?
I don't know, man. I am not sure of it. All I know is that when I knocked him out, he fell down, dude. It was a liver shot that I gave.
Oh, okay.
It was a liver shot and the sound was so loud that...
That is the thing about heavyweights, no? You're going to hear the sounds.
Yeah.
Impacts are big.
See, even that guy was a heavyweight. It's not like his punches were like kisses, dude.
I'm talking about you two only.
Yeah.
That is the thing about heavyweights, that punches are much more brutal. And that is why you're going to see a lot of knockouts in heavyweights. Yeah. So let us get back to it. Okay, this is the rule. So did you train like round wise also?
Yes. So I used to fight 6 rounds in training.
Yeah.
So I would fight for 3 rounds. Then no break. Immediately next guy used to come.
Okay.
He used to be fresh.
Yeah.
And after 3 minutes, then another guy would come. 6 rounds I used to go like that.
All right. So that is why you have to train for longer, because when it comes to the real thing, the panic will be there.
Which will be so nervous, man. Oh my god.
Drain out a lot of
He was staring dead into my eyes, like how Mike Tyson does and everything. He thought he was Mike Tyson. It happens, okay. Yeah. First round he came like guns blazing. I'm like, okay. When I also went, my coach is like, you have to keep hitting. I didn't do that much defense. By the end of the first round, my coach told he's hitting only straight punches. You give only uppercuts and hooks. I'm giving uppercuts. If it'll connect to the stomach. If it doesn't connect to the stomach, it would hit the chin. By the end of the first round, he's got a cut here. His nose
this
is
guy
bleeding.
Is taller than you or shorter?
I think 1 inch shorter than me.
Okay. The thing about straights is that the reach is longer.
So, I have a long reach, so it wasn't a problem for me.
Yeah.
So by the end of the first round, his nose is bleeding. His eye is cut just below the eye socket.
Okay.
And he was completely exhausted. He used up all his stamina.
So the guy did not have much stamina.
No. Then second round came, the referee would stop me all of a sudden because I was bending my head.
Okay.
Then I'm like, let's go. I was playing open guard. Open guard is my hands are not up. It is down. I'm taunting him. I'm putting my head ahead. Like, come hit me, come hit me.
Yeah.
He would just throw one punch. I'll go back. I'll counter.
Okay.
Then I would jab twice to the head and one to the liver. It hit him once. He could feel it. I did the same thing second time. Slowly he dropped. And that's when I knew he's not getting up.
All right. Okay. So this was one guy. Then obviously there were others.
This was the finals.
Okay.
I had only 2 fights, man.
Okay. What about the pressure, man? What kind of pressure can you explain over here? Because
it was my first fight. I was very, very nervous. Extremely nervous. And my coach also was like, he hyped me up. See, whatever training you did, it is for this moment. Everything you put it in the ring. Nothing you should take out. Everything. Sab kuch dal do. I'm like, okay, fine. And everything. And
did you do something to calm yourself down?
I was trying to breathe.
Yeah.
And you know what? After I won, man, the crowd, the way they were cheering for me, that was the most addictive thing. That is a nasha. I would say that nasha is something else.
Yeah.
When people are calling you out, they want to take pictures with you. They're saying, like, this one moment really impacted me a lot. Like, this man came with his wife and his kid. He's telling his kid, "Dekho beta champion." Oh my God. I took a picture with that kid and everything. That kid was a wrestler. He's trying to twist my finger and everything. It was so nice.
All right.
Very nice.
Yeah, definitely. That is the highest high that you can feel in your life.
That's why I say, quality nasha. You need to have that.
Yeah. That is another reason why why all the fighters are having problem with their retirement, because nothing can satisfy them anymore.
That high, man. Like, it's in high, really. I'm not joking.
No. That is what all the fighters have said. That is, nothing can compare with that. And you can only think about what they must be feeling in the international level when this is the thing in the state level, right? Or what you'll be feeling in Olympics when you're representing your country, right? So I wanted to get into the pressure part because I still remember every time before my fights in karate and all. So I had this different kind of fear, and not only me, everyone. Even in the sparring sessions, we all had this fear. No matter how good you are, even if you're the best in the class, you'll always be having this fear. And later on, a lot of people asked me the question regarding, I feel this fear that my hands are shaking and my hands are sweating when I'm giving examinations. So I thought that the solution must be same. And I faced this problem too when I appeared in GATE examination in 2016. That was my first. So I felt that it is the exact same thing, man. It is the exact same thing. So the whole thing is that whatever has higher amount of stakes and which can really judge your life and shift it from one direction to another direction brings the same kind of panic that is embedded in the human genetics. And same when it goes to examination. Let us say you are prepared for civil services examination for 3 years. My God, you have invested so much, you have sacrificed so much. And this one examination can judge your life and make all of those 3 years into a success story or a failure story. Then certainly you are going to sweat, you're going to tremble.
Yeah, man.
So I applied the same philosophy because in physical it is much easier. Physical, you understand it like this. So human body is made in a way that your body is going to pump a lot of adrenaline whenever you are in a fight or flight situation. And that creates the panic, that creates higher blood pressure, that creates your eyes getting warmer a little bit. I'm sure that you must have experienced this as well. When you close it, you are going to feel the warmth in your eyes because the blood pressure is so high. So this is the fight and flight situation that you have faced now. And in physical situation, it is the easiest for you to understand. And what I have understood is that all of this is for you to perform better. It is there so that you either run away or defeat the person.
It's a fight or flight.
Yeah. So that adrenaline is there to help you. And that is why what I applied in the examination, that whatever I'm feeling, it is there because this moment is not like any other moment. It is there, which is something different. And the feelings that I'm having right now is different for a reason. It is there to help me. And that is how I dealt with pressure in examinations as well. And that is why I tell a lot of people, I've asked this question to so many people, man, because how to deal with pressure is my special area of interest. And what I've seen is different people deal with it differently. And some people, most of the people, 90% of the people, what they say is that this is how I deal with pressure. I give myself a plan B and I have a backup. So it is not that pressurized for me. Even if I fail, it does not matter. But that I could never understand, because if you really want it that badly, can you really have a plan B?
No, dude. It's when you say even if I fail, it doesn't matter. You haven't given it your all.
Yeah.
You can't say in a boxing match, even if I get knocked out, it's not a big deal. I'll be fine. Dude, a knockout is horrible. It takes you sometimes months also to
That is
recover.
what fight does not give you a second option, man. You are going to get knocked out. That is what fighters learn the fastest, because this is not any other sport. You don't have a plan B. You might just go to coma if you get knocked out very badly.
Man.
People have died as well.
Yeah, people have died, man. You can't take any chances there. Like, you have to be so prepared. Your body, conditioning, everything has to be perfect. You gotta keep training, man.
Yeah, so a lot of things, that is why I like podcasts, especially with you, Gagan. It brings a lot of things that I've never thought about. And especially when it comes to martial arts, one thing that I understood talking to you is that why martial art is so different from other sports. And most of them are related to the output of a fight, which is very, very different from the output of a sport.
Every time I train, I go with the mentality that, dude, I need to learn lots. Like, I haven't done much in my life. I need to achieve more. I haven't accomplished more. I keep asking myself, like, dude, what have you done? What have you done? Nothing. So that one thing keeps like pushing me ahead and keep pushing me more and more and more. And I don't let one aspect, like, this is a part of human nature. Everybody has it. It's ego and your grandiosity saying that I am all. I don't let. That is when you have to be a pessimist. You need to tell yourself, you're nothing. Come down. You need to train.
That is a stoppage to your growth as well. The moment you start thinking that you don't have room for growth, that is where you stop learning.
There's always room for growth.
Yeah.
There's always room.
That is what I've seen from
the best example, who is Abdul Kalam, sir.
Yeah.
He died doing what he loved. Became president of India. After that, what people do, they sit in the government house and everything. But he was still teaching.
You read his book?
Which one?
Wings of Fire?
Wings of Fire, I've read.
Yeah.
I want to read Vision 2020.
Okay.
That is something I want to read, man.
Is he the author?
Yeah, he's the author.
I was not aware of
Yeah.
that. When did he write that?
When he was alive, man, long time ago.
Okay, long time ago he gave
Wings of Fire is his biography, like how he grew up, like the influence his brother-in-law had in his life.
Man, the humbleness that person had is mind-boggling, man. He was so humble, man. And it is written in his book that when he was getting transferred to DRDO, okay, so you must be knowing that his journey began in ISRO only, right? So from the 1960s to the major part of 1970s, and he was responsible for the launch of this
Agni.
That is the missile, but I'm talking about ISRO's launch vehicle, that is SLV-3.
SLV-3.
That is the proper first launch of an Indian launch vehicle. So he was the project director. And then he was sent to DRDO, because a lot of people don't know rocket technology and missile technology are like twin brothers. It is very much hand in hand.
ISRO started in a church, right? Or
yeah.
In Kerala.
Church in Trivandrum.
Oh my
I've
God.
seen that church.
You've seen that church,
yeah? I went over there. It was part of the tour.
Oh my
and
God.
now it is like a museum. So if you get into that church, it is having a lot of old components of ISRO, and it has been modified. Like it is a tourist spot now. So it started over there. Bunch of people just starting a company. It was a startup, man. It was a startup. So Vikram Sarabhai was the visionary. I'm sure you must have heard his name.
Obviously, man.
So he was a rich person from a very wealthy family, and he chose physics. And then he started this whole university in Ahmedabad. That is what is SAC, Space Application, is established next to, right? Physical Research Laboratory, PRL. So he has spent his time in ISC as well. So he just handpicked 6 people, 5 people from PRL itself, and 1 person from Department of Atomic Energy. And that was the person, Armadan. He has also written a book. I have all the books lined up over there, Armadan. And I've read that book as well. And he basically explains how it all started. And this Armadan, Armadan was there at that time. APJ Abdul Kalam sir was already in ISRO. And I'm sure that you must have heard of Nambi Narayan, right? Nambi Narayan, the guy, espionage case.
Okay.
His
Oh
own-
yeah, it was still going
he
on.
has written a book as well, Wings of Fire. It is probably there, right? So this Nambi Narayan's interview was taken by Abdul Kalam, one of the panel member. He was one of the panel member. And this guy is reaching the peak, and there are literally people in ISRO who is jealous of this person because he's getting all the hype. And this person, when you look at the life from his side, he does not care about fame and all that and meeting the prime minister and all that. When he died, man, people went to his home, and they found just couple of dresses of DRDO. No belongings, man. I right now have 100 times more belonging than that person has. You have much more
Yeah,
belongings that
definitely.
person had. The humbleness of his life was striking, man. It is not understandable by a common person who is running after lust. All he cared about was science. What his life was 100% focused on was science. I've seen his place where he worked in Sri Harikota. So I used to go over there every now and then for the final assemblies and the final leak checks and all of the launch vehicle before it lifts off. So once we had some time, so my boss said, "Chalo tumhe tour karate hai." So they made us move. And Shar is a very, very historical place because that is where all the ISRO major launches has taken place. So there's a small office where Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam used to sit over there and work, and that is again turned into a memorial now. So that was crazy different example, man. There are not many people like him, man.
You can't, man. It's
Yeah.
very difficult. And
Yeah, you can just
when he died, right? So I was applying for civil services, and one of the lecturers he came, and I'm sure you heard the unfortunate news. Let's have a moment of silence
yeah.
for Kalam sir.
Oh, okay.
In the class, just as a sign of respect. And, man, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's written another book called Ignited Minds. That is something I have to read.
Yeah.
It's been recommended that you read that. That is something that I'm going to do. And as I was saying, man, like to be the president of a nation, and then
And the first technical president.
yeah, technical. People
Last
thought he
so
didn't
far.
know constitution. People thought he didn't. They thought, okay, he's a science guy. What, he'll know constitution?
And
But
how-
he read it like this.
How he empowered a complete nation, man.
Yeah, man.
The entire country, the defense technology, nuclear technology wasn't possible.
See, you know what is this an example of? Knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah, because he is a scientist. There are pictures over there. He's sitting on a floor of that church assembling the small rockets, all right, those Rohini rockets and all that has having solid boosters, and those we call sounding rockets, assembling it with hands, sitting on the floor. And the person next to him was Armudan only. He's sitting with a tank top, that's it, pajamas, chappals, that's it, carrying rocket components on the back of a bicycle, on a bullock cart carrying a satellite. These people are from scientist backgrounds. These people care about technology. That's it. And that is knowledge, what you said.
Knowledge, man.
Knowledge is there from learning and studying art.
See, this is what happens when you are a lifelong learner.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
This is the position that you can reach.
And also, if you look at it, it gives a different awakening that real joy is not in money. It is not in fame. It is in learning itself. And that gives you an understanding not only of the world, but of yourself.
There is this one teacher who I came across. He's on YouTube. His name is Awadh Oja. He says that a great teacher has two responsibilities. One, he has to ensure that student tops. And two, padne ka nasha aana chahiye.
Yeah.
That student, knowledge should be his high. What is this topic? What is this subject?
Yeah.
Who was this person? That curiosity, once it comes in your mind, you're on a different path altogether.
Teacher plays a huge role in making the kids understand that this is fun. This is enjoyable, what you are learning right now. Instead of other things that are also giving you pleasure, learning also is fun. And there have been a lot of teachers in my life who showed it to me that this is actually fun, what you're doing.
Till 6th standard, I was never good at maths. I used to get like 7 out of 100 out of maths. Then this one teacher, his name is Nagaraj sir. I don't know where he is today. He used to come home and take tuitions for me. when things changed for me. From that day, I never failed in maths.
Yeah.
Like I would not get like 90 or something,
Yeah.
but I would do good.
Yeah.
I would get like probably out of 100, 60, 70.
Mm-hmm.
And that was carried forward throughout my life. Even till date, like my friends say, dude, I'm never good at maths. I was never like, why? What was so wrong in it? It is such a wonderful subject.
Yeah. They don't understand the
They
value,
don't know it,
importance,
yeah.
and how it works in the real life. There has been a lot of memes going on. So you're not from an engineer community, so I'll tell you that they'll put a differential equation, and then they'll put down below that still waiting for this to be utilized. Now, dude, you have never used engineering in the real life.
You know, calculus is used a lot in deep learning. All the algorithms, the neural nets, no?
Yeah.
It's all based on calculus and matrices.
And these same kids who are saying, I don't know when it will be utilized. No, once you start using it. So I've seen this in nuclear technology and how it
You know
works.
why maths is taught? You know, what is the logic behind it?
Maths runs everything, man.
It does, but what does it do to a human being?
Human being.
See, so I saw this on Lex Friedman's podcast. He got a mathematician from China or somewhere.
All right. Yeah.
He said that maths gives you the ability to think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, I have friends who say that, dude, I don't like maths. I don't do this. I see their critical thinking.
Okay.
It improves your critical thinking.
Yes.
It gives you a deeper understanding. Like you are given a problem, no? You look at it from different ways. People who say I don't like maths, no, like they might not be able to think critically or deeply.
Just think about it this way, no? If you are investing a money over here, simple way, investment somewhere, and this is the interest, and you don't know mathematics, how will you find out if it is going to turn out better in 5 years?
You might be slow in maths. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
That can be picked up. But that ability to pick it up and learn, that you should not leave.
Yeah, maths is absolutely necessary. And that is what I was saying, is that when I got into BARC and training school and all, and when I saw these scientists from IIT Madras and all coming and writing huge equations, I found that not only the maths that I've studied is used over here, what I've studied is not sufficient. You need to know much more to actually apply it. And people don't really understand that. I don't like maths. Once you understand that you have to get in technical field, like for example, what you're doing right now, sure, you are using a lot of mathematics as well. Then you'll understand what is the importance. So,
especially in my field, we work with a lot of data. So statistics.
What do you use? Just explain a little bit, because I'm not aware of that.
What do you mean?
When it comes to mathematics, what do you use?
See, I don't use mathematics at my work, okay? But mathematics is used in the algorithms that I use. Now, for example, we have neural nets and deep learning, okay? It's all based on integration and differentiation, okay? And we have image recognition, okay? How does a computer understand that this is an image? They use matrices.
Machine
learning, machine learning understands this is an image. They use matrices over there, okay? And scalar and vector. So that's how it judges the distance, and it understands, okay, this is an image. This is an image of a panda. This is an inverted image of a panda. So that's how it uses it. So me as a person, I don't sit and do calculus at work. But statistics, yes.
But you have to understand what goes behind.
You need to know. You need to know what's under the hood. Okay, you need to know what's under the hood. And statistics, yes. Okay, so as I said, I'm into Six Sigma. So I'm a green belt. I'll be doing my black belt as well. So we use statistics to understand a particular business process. We try to see where the error is. We try to understand where we can make improvements. Okay, we try to solve problems using numbers. And statistics plays a huge role in everything you do in data science, or if you want to change a particular business process. Now, let me give an example. Now, say that you've ordered something from Amazon. It takes 10 days for it to get delivered. Okay, Amazon wants to bring it down to 4 days. Okay, what do they want to do? They want to change the process. So at that point of time, they would use process improvement methodologies such as Six Sigma, and their statistics is a very important thing. It plays a lot of.
So basically, even if you look at statistics, you are getting into the basic probability and all what we study as kids, right?
Yes,
that is what
how
changes and grows.
Even till date, I learned the basics, man. I still like mean, median, mode. I know what that is, but I try to, like, what is normal distribution. Sometimes I forget. Not like I don't, man. Like I have so many things to do. I forget. I go back, watch videos, read. Oh, this is how it is. What is skewness? What is kurtosis? I try to understand all these things. I'll forget, dude. Like yes, I'm not gonna lie. I've studied it. I forget. Again, I have to read it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I was in college, I came in contact with one of the professors, and he had a project in artificial neural network.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Man, yeah.
So
ANNs.
what I found is that it is basically the probability and numerical analysis that we are studying, and it is just grown to that extent where it is utilized to predict what is going to happen.
It is used in predictions a lot. It is used in image recognition. It is used in so many things, man. Like computer vision. It is used. I think Amazon, they're using it, and Alexa uses that. Meaning it's all neural nets. Dude.
Yeah.
It helps. It's basically like we have neurons in our brain. We have tried to replicate it in a system
Yeah.
using algorithms.
Yeah. So kids, to finalize, stay in school.
No, it's not stay in school. Just have the hunger to learn.
Yeah, if you
Just
want to
don't
play
stop.
guitar for the rest of your life, probably you're not going to need it.
Do it as a hobby, man.
But then
nothing more than that.
Then you'll have to be super good at it, playing guitar. Otherwise, get into maths. All right. If you want to be technical in life, it is going to be used. All right, Gagan, shall we close it out?
Yeah, dude. Sure, man. It was a wonderful, long conversation.
2.5 hours, man.
It's all your fault, dude, not mine.
Okay. No, but we both enjoyed the conversation. I'm pretty sure that audience, the two of them who are remaining till the end, no, I'm pretty sure that there would be a lot who really appreciate it. Guys, this podcast is also available in audio form, which is probably the first thing that I should have said, because you won't be able to watch it complete on YouTube unless you have premium and huge data and all. But we do upload it on all the audio platforms like Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and all those things. And Gagan is probably going to be back very soon. He's in Bangalore. I'm in Bangalore. We are going to do a lot of these. As you can see that we can keep on talking. There's no end to this. And probably why we are stopping is because we have run out of coffee and we need to stretch our legs.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Okay, Gagan. Be over here soon.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you are helping a lot of people, man. A lot of people. I'm having a lot of close followers as well. You have guided them personally in their career. And you have elaborated a lot of things. You have a broad perspective, man, in general. Like
I just give clarity, dude. I just ask them questions, they get clarity.
What I've seen is that data science is a very small part of your life, even though if it is career of yours, you have opinions in a lot of other things as well. And that makes the podcast with Gagan always fun. I've said it openly, Gagan, in one of my Q&A that your podcast that I had on Momentum Podcast was one of my favorite Momentum podcasts. No doubt in that. This one also turned out to be fantastic. Enjoyed a lot. And I had to get up a long time ago. The only thing is that your talks were so interesting, so I kept on listening. That's it. Okay. All right, guys.
Thank you.
That's about it. Momentum is a weekly podcast. You're going to catch us every week over here. And see you next time. Till then.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Gagan.
Yo, man.
How was it?
It was good, dude. How long was it?
2.5 hours.
Again?
Again.